right, welcome on in to another episode of DCU Daily on Also Curious. It's a new week, and we are back. It was a bit of a rough go of it last week. I wasn't feeling well, but John was here with you with Fancast Friday, and you guys talked about Superman 3 villains, not the Christopher Reeve Superman 3, but a third film with David Cornsweet Superman villains for that movie. So that was fun, but you know, it's a new week. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of DC stuff. Supergirl updates from CCXP, James Gunn giving us some clarification on when, where, and how Clayface fits into the larger DCU. Also, why, you know, it looks so different from everything else we have seen in the DCU so far. And of course, we have to talk about Michael Jackson, Hee-Hee, his way to the box office and becoming the biggest biopic opening of all time. And we'll talk about, you know, a little bit about, like, you know, there's a new lawsuit against Michael Jackson's state. So yeah, we'll get into all of that. Paramount just revealed in a new SEC filing that they'll be almost half owned by foreign backers once the merger with Warner Brothers Discovery goes through. A lot of that comes from the Middle East. We'll get into that talk. We've got a ton of trailers. Star City, the Man of For All Mankind spinoff, we got a trailer for that. Strange New World season 4, the Star Trek series. We also have to react to the Spider Noir trailer. There is news about Avengers Doomsday, those photos that leaked a long time ago about, you know, actors in costumes. Apparently those photos were real. We thought they were AI generated, but Disney's taking them down. That can only mean one thing: it's confirming that they are real. So we'll get into that. We've got updates for Daredevil Born Again season 3. They're shooting in New York, hence so the spoilers are getting out there. So definitely, you know, we'll give you a spoiler warning for that. And we'll get to see, maybe if John got to see Michael over the weekend, he might be able to give you his review of that, and so much more. And speaking of which, let's hit that news intro and get the show started.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number 2.
All right, Mr. I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne. I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see corns.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the world needs now.
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
All right, we're back again. Go tell your friend. No, seriously, go tell your friend. We are live. It's another episode of DCU Daily. It is the first one of the week. We had a bit of a half a week of shows last week, but you know, this week we're looking to go all 5 days in a row. I'm, of course, your host Daniel. Got a lot of news to get into. Let me, you know, get my words straight. And then with me to do that, as always, I've got John. John, how are you doing?
Hello, I am doing quite well. Here to talk about all the news, all the fun things in regards to Marvel and DC and anything in between. So here we are. I got my broken glasses ready. I broke them over the weekend, but that's okay. I'll get a new pair eventually, but here we are. That's okay.
I need to get new glasses myself.
Yeah,
kind of the same way
you could
there.
probably tell the little bit right here kind of broke off, so I had to glue it together, but that's okay. Outside of that, I had a good weekend, so, you know.
What happened? Did you, like, get in a fight?
So what happened was I was putting my glasses to get it, like, I have, like, a little writing workstation right here, just to, like, to write stuff down, keep my phone here, all that stuff. And then I didn't want my glasses there because I went to grab my phone and grab my glasses by the lens. And I'm like, I don't want fingerprints on my lens. So I put them up here, clearly not a stable surface. So they fell off, bounced off my desk, and then hit the floor. And it hit that one, like, magic pixel of a spot where the plastic broke off. And so the lens was danger of coming out. So I just glued it together, and it's holding. So it's holding. So we're good.
Yeah. Anyway, well, speaking of holding, Michael's holding the top spot at the box office from this past weekend. So let's start there, because we were going into the weekend. I'll set the table. We were talking about how, I believe it was, well, this time last week we were definitely looking at like 60 to 70 million. Later in the week they were looking at 65 to 70 million, could go above that. Domestic might do 150 internationally. Then as the weekend, was ongoing, we were looking at potentially 80 million, maybe 85 million. But then, John, by the end of the weekend, as we are on Monday now, going into almost Tuesday, the final tally came in way, way over any of those numbers. It turns out the final, actuals, as they call it in the business, Michael finished up with 97 million domestic box office and 219 million worldwide, completely outdoing any projections by a large margin. It now becomes, of course, not only the top launch ever for a musical biopic, it is literally the highest grossing, opening weekend for any biopic, period. And we'll go into the numbers a little bit later, but just at first glance, these are two of the several records that it broke. Oppenheimer had the previous record for the biggest global biopic opening. Michael now has that record. And domestically, like North America, previous record for the highest opening weekend for a biopic, not musical biopic, just biopic in general, so which includes musical biopics, that was for American Sniper. So now Michael has the domestic record, it also has the worldwide record. And it's kind of hard to think about, like, I mean, we've talked about movies doing really well when critics have bashed it before. Like we usually are talking about, like, Super Mario, for example, or we're talking about an animated, like a Minions movie, right? But it's kind of rare to see a movie of this kind do as well at the box office and like have a audience score. I think the Rotten Tomatoes was 97%, cinema score A-, while the critic score is sitting in the 30s, like the mid to low 30s, last I checked. So I know I reviewed it last week, John. I don't know if you got to see it over the weekend. But what were you? I mean, do you want to give your review as we talk about the box office? What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I could give a quick little review, I guess. But I did see the film. I saw it in a nice full theater. I saw it with my parents. I saw it in Dolby Theater too, so the experience was pretty damn good. Overall, it's one of those things where it's like, if you want to be entertained for 2 hours, go see Michael. If you want to watch a movie with a lot of depth, a lot of intrigue, a lot of like nitty-gritty themes and ideas, you're not going to get that from Michael. I mean, that's kind of what we expected. Like, I was hoping that they would like delve deeper because, he is such a big star and it would have been cool to break things down. But yeah, it's pretty much middle of the road. It's fine. You're not gonna think when it comes to this movie. You're not gonna, you're probably not gonna remember it in T-minus 3 days. Yep, already forgot. And it's perfectly serviceable. Like, in terms of the pantheon of greatness that I like to quote all the time in terms of music biopics, Love and Mercy and Rocketman are by far superior. They are much better made films. They get into the nitty-gritty of their lives a lot more intriguing, a lot better made, a lot more understanding of the artist and the process of the artist. Just overall better films by far. I haven't seen Straight Outta Compton, but I have heard that one is excellent as well. But for me, it's like I was entertained. Like, I wanted so badly for it to be more, but like by like the halfway point, yeah, like once you hear like the critics and all that, yeah, it's not going to be anything special. It does have like little nuggets of greatness, like the stuff with his father, the what he was like kind of going through with that, and a couple of scenes of process. Like, that's the thing that like pretty much every music biopic like glosses over. Like, what is the process of getting from A to B? Like, how do we get Beat It? How do we get Thriller? Don't really know. It's just like, oh, he's a genius, so he can figure it out. We got like one. There was probably my favorite scene throughout the whole movie. We got one scene of him choreographing the music video to Beat It. And I'm like, oh my God, the process that's great. And then it's like 2 minutes later, it's gone. Oh, there that goes. Okay.
It just felt like vignettes, right? Like that's what I was describing.
Yeah, because that's what every music biopic does. It's just like, here's what happens in 1966. Here's what happens in 1971. Here's what happens in 1970. It's just like, okay, like I like seeing Mike, and don't get me wrong, the ending scene of him, like, oh, he finally, you know, whether it actually happened or not, him being like, fuck you, dad, I'm gonna fucking do my own thing, you can't control my life anymore, and then he does bad in London. I'm like, okay, that was cool. And plus, like, literally the fucking like sound system was rocking the theater, like you could feel the vibrations. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but at the end of the day, it's a very flawed movie. It suffers a lot of problems. I mean, the best parts about the movie were Jafar Jackson as Michael and Coleman Domingo as Joseph, and maybe a couple scenes like here and there, and the performances are nice. Like the music performances are good, but like, it's just, you're not gonna get a ton. It's just it's entertainment. It's like, if you wanted to be entertained by Michael Jackson, you're gonna like this movie. If you want a movie with depth, you're not gonna get that. Go watch Rocketman, go watch Love and Mercy, go watch Straight Outta Compton. If you want a music biopic with actual depth, go watch those, because, you know, I would say go see it for like lazy fucking afternoon movie, fine, then go watch it, but it's not anything special, it's not anything great, but I was entertained by it. If I like were to give it a score, I'd maybe give like a 5.5 out of 10. Like it's fine. It's middle of the road. It's decent, but nothing too great or too special. In terms of like music biopics I'm excited for that I hope will actually bring depth to all this is the, you know, 4-film saga of the Beatles. That, I think, you have Sam Mendes, a really great director. You're doing this whole epic thing. I'm like, I think we're gonna get something there, hopefully, that we couldn't really get here. This is just another run-of-the-mill kind of movie that doesn't do anything special or great or different or unique with its source material. So
I agree with you. I feel like there was a lot left on the cutting room floor or whatever, because like you look at this movie, and one thing I kept thinking is like they did redo a lot of stuff. And I know they said that and we'll get into it later too, like they reshot the entire third act. We've talked about that several times.
Yeah.
But I can't
imagine. And you can tell when the reshoots took place. Like, literally, there were scenes, like, not even, like, different, like, times in his life, literal, like, scenes where it's, like, his hair changes, like, back and forth. I'm like, dude, come on. You couldn't have, like, at least CGI'd that, or like done something to be like, oh, he has a big afro, and then it goes down, and then it goes back up again. It's like, dude, come on. This is almost as bad as the chair scene from Bohemian Rhapsody. Get the fuck out of here. Come on.
Or like, I mean, we've talked about like in the Avengers Infinity War, there was that scene with Tom Holland's hairstyle changes and like the back and forth between him and Tony Stark. I didn't notice it as much personally, but I know what you mean. Movie Spot saying, I mean, look, this is the thing, like, they did a great job of recreating Motown 25. Then, of course, you know, it does feel like vignettes because what the point I was trying to make is, like, yes, it does feel like, you know, they're, you know, we know that they redid the third act, but I can't imagine if it was a situation where they simply were like, oh, we're going to just splice the third act out and replace it with something completely different. They probably had to rejig other parts of the movie too. And I feel like you can really see that, because it's like this movie really, like the way I described it was like, you know, when you get it on Blu-ray or DVD and you have chapters, it's like you could really tell where each chapter started and the next one ended. And it kind of played like that, where all they were doing is using some of his music beats to like link these.
Yeah, and I feel like there were a lot of
together,
emotional moments that were taken away by using his music. Like there was like Michael's attempt, like when Joseph wanted to do the Victory Tour, and Michael was like, "No, I don't want to do it. I'm my own man." And he was like, well, you're going to do what I want you to do. And it's like this good, like pretty good emotional moment.
Right.
And then you fucking insert a Michael Jackson song. And it's like, it's like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a Marvel movie where it's like, you have this deep resonant scene. And then you have like a Marvel quip that's like, did that just happen? Like, you know, it's like, I get it. Well, you're trying to emulate Joss Whedon and failing miserably, but you don't have to fucking undo every emotional impact with a quip. You don't have to undo every emotional moment to transition to the next thing with a Michael Jackson song. Like, I get it. It's a Michael Jackson movie. I like to hear the music, but like fucking tone it down a little bit. Like, damn.
Yeah, to me, you know what it felt like? It was like the Jackson State was like, we can never really get these low moments feel too low. We can't really make any of these characters look like truly bad. Like, not saying like any of them are truly bad. I mean, I'm sure like, you know,
I mean, they are
characters that have
bad.
flaws.
They're bad.
But like,
woo!
They're really, really bad. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is like you said, exactly. Like the tension was palpable at times when Coleman Domingo was on screen, making his presence felt like the great actor that he is playing Joe Jackson. But none of those moments, I think that what you were trying to get at is they never let you like sit with those moments long enough before they were just like ready to move you along, and they used the music to do that.
As I said to
Ron and Steven. Hello.
As I said to my and 100% part 2 is gonna get greenlit, especially now.
They said it. This story continues. This
movie's
gonna make money. Yeah.
I mean, with the opening like this, it's 100% going to fucking get a sequel without a doubt.
Exactly.
But like it's just you know, it just felt very, you know, vapid a little bit. I think that's a good word for it. It was just very, you know, not like, it's not, I don't think it's like the worst thing since Cancer that a lot of critics are making it out to be. It's just, I don't think it deserves like a 39% or whatever the fuck the Rotten Tomatoes score is for critics.
It's in the 30s. You know, it's I'm gonna bring up the example. Batman v Superman shouldn't have been in the 30s. Like one of the squad. I think one of those movies had like I'm like it wasn't that bad, but you know, like that's.
I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. Like maybe like in the. I think maybe a Rotten is deserving, but like not that low. That's kind of a little bit insultingly low, especially you know when you the you know the movie that everybody brings up when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes. You have something like Cuties, which is literal like child porn, and then but. Rotten Tomatoes gave that positive review, so it's like whoops-a-daisies. So it's just it just doesn't have a ton of substance. If you want the substance, go watch Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley.
That movie has a lot of substance. But you know what? Here's the thing. On a lot of levels, it does work. If you're just because I don't know if I mentioned this last week. The theater that I went to, and I went to the Wednesday early screening. Literally, people were clapping. As an like the whole like majority of the audience that I was with were clapping with those performances, almost as if they were literally watching Michael Jackson perform at a concert.
Yeah, so, and I think Jafar Jackson did a good job. Like, there was a friend of mine gave like kind of a negative review, and that's fine. It's whatever. Like, if you don't like it, that's fine. But it's like they try to say like, oh yeah, Jafar Jackson did a terrible job. I'm like. Did you watch the movie? Like, because the thing is, I get it. It's like, I get it. It's just like, oh, he's just doing an imitation of Michael. But I think there's more to that. There was a lot of like little subtleties. Like I remember, like there was the scene when he's like trying to get his solo album off the wall, the first solo album off the ground, and like he's talking with the how he talks a big game and how he's like, yeah, I'm gonna tell my father, and like and when Quincy mentions Joseph, there's like a lip quiver and like his eyes like divert towards the ground, and I'm like, that's good subtlety right there. Like you miss that shit when you're like, oh yeah. He doesn't use his face. I'm like right there, like maybe that and or when he's talking with Joseph, like you could see him like looking visibly uncomfortable. You see him looking down. You see his eyes going everywhere but him. Like, you know, like with the little kid, he's like how he's like, always look at me, Michael, always look at me. And he just can't look him in the eye. And that was very like it goes into his adulthood where he's like he just can't. Like, even though he is his own man, he is like an adult. He just can't look this man in the eye because he just sees him as a monster. And that's good acting. Like, say what you will. Right. Like, that's good acting. And I know, like, people are going to make fun of it. It's like, oh, he doesn't use his face. But it's like, also, there is the idea he did do a lot of plastic surgery. Michael Jackson did, you know, alter his face a lot. So maybe there was that aspect.
Yeah.
But like even then, like I think there was a lot of subtleties that people missed, and you know, I don't think that's fair to be like, oh yeah, he gave a terrible performance because he didn't use his face. I'm like, I think you need to watch the movie again if you really missed that. So, that's just how I feel. But I
Yeah,
think I think he gave a good.
it's
Am I gonna
yes.
say, oh, it's fucking Marlon Brando and The Godfather? Like, no, of fucking course not. I'm saying that, but as
No,
something
I don't think
as
anybody expected it.
substanceless as
Right.
Michael, you got to look for anything and everything that gives you that substance. And Jafar Jackson and Coleman Domingo did in fact do that. I think whoever played the
Right.
mother, I think Nia Long was the actress that somebody
Neil Long,
mentioned.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think
Yep.
she did a very good job,
She did.
but the thing is nobody else really had much of a um like
Well, I don't
his
think Coleman
brothers barely
Domingo
had a role, his
was
sister barely had
barely
a
a
role.
role, right? I
I
mean,
think
and then
Miles
we
Teller
talked
was
about
good,
Janet
but he was
Jackson
barely in the
in it.
movie. So
Again, he did great with what he was given as well. Um, well, Steven, to answer your question, biopics are only gonna there's only gonna be more of them, considering how well this is doing at the box office, and we'll
and
talk about it as we go in more detail. But yeah,
I think to me, what I understand, this is going to be a two-parter. To me, what this should have been like a 9-hour trilogy of movies, because that is how big
well, you
Michael
never
is.
know.
That's
No, but you never
how.
know. It's they might still want to do that. It's
Well, I mean, now it's too late, because what I'm saying is what they should have done is have the first
mhm.
movie be about the Jackson 5 years, and then the movie should have ended with him getting his solo album. It's like,
That
okay,
would have
he's
been great.
finally,
Yes,
because then you can spend a lot
yes.
more moments on him getting abused and him not having a childhood. Like, they kind of touch on that, but they have to speed through all this shit because it's a 2-hour movie and we want to get to when he's Michael motherfucking Jackson. So you can spend more time on those I don't know, around 10-ish years where he was with the Jackson 5, and then and then have those themes bleed into the other movies. Then the second movie would be about his peak, where it's his solo career of him trying to get away from Joseph, as well as trying to become a bigger star, break all these records, break all these barriers, do all this stuff, become the first black artist on MTV, all that shit. And then the movie ends with those allegations. Now, I understand you can't portray a lot. I don't know how far the legality of the settlement is. I don't know if it's just you can't show Jordan Chandler dramatized in a film. I don't know if you can even
Not at all.
mention the
That was the reason why
1993
they.
trial. I don't know how far it
No, I don't
goes,
think you
and
can.
I'm
That's
not a
why they
fucking
reshot.
lawyer.
No, that's why
So,
they reshot the third
yeah,
act
no, I
because
know.
you
I'm
can't
just
touch
saying,
on any of that. So
it
yeah,
just should have ended with 1993.
I
That's
feel
where the second movie should end, and then the third movie would be about him maintaining a level of stardom that nobody could ever hope to achieve ever. Swifties. And then just eventually end with his passing. I just think that would have been so much better, so much bigger, and then have each movie be 2.5, 3 hours, so you could spend all that time breaking down this artist, and try not to have a biased look pro or against allegations, if they were true or not, and just present the information, and then the audience figures it out. This is what we have, you figure it out, because that's the best part about movies, is that make it an actual
yeah.
covalent bond of audience to
No, I
filmmaker,
know. It's just I think there's just not maybe that politics is not the right word, but I guess in a way it is. The politics surrounding this movie, and I'm not talking about voting at the poll. It's more the Jackson Estate. It's how this because the studio needs the permission of the Jackson State to include the music. So
right?
if they were gonna make something that was as close to real life portrayal of what actually is, as much as we know about Michael Jackson's life, then I mean you wouldn't be able to necessarily get the approval from the state to do that. So that is a big part of why we were probably I think it would be great if that's the kind of thing we would eventually get, but it's just I don't think anybody was under the delusion that we were going to get anything that deep. It's just I think both of us were surprised that it was really even more surface level than we thought it might be. But that's okay. I mean, look, the movie's making money. It's a lot of people love it. I still had fun with it. I will say that the runtime kind of whizzes by. I didn't notice the movie running too long.
Yeah.
The structure is a little weird, but again, it seems like they had to re-edit stuff and obviously, they had to recut the movie and redo a bunch of it. But yeah, at the box office, it was number one. It's the biggest biopic opening of all time. Even in China, it was number one. I think it was number one. It broke records for biopic openings in like 63 of 84 markets that it opened in, including obviously China as well. To answer your question, Movie Spud, what other musicians should we have biopics for? I mean, Janet Jackson would be nice since she's not in this movie. So, I don't know, John, you have anybody in mind that you'd like to see a biopic for? Like somebody, I'm sure everybody will get theirs eventually. Most of the big ones. I mean, Bruce Springsteen just had one.
What I would like to see, I think,
he's
instead
got
to
one
get
coming
away
out.
from the vapid stereotype, typical
Mhm.
trope-ridden kind of biopics that are, unfortunately making a lot of money. Like, you gotta be unique as possible. I would say, like, get a weird band and like make it a horror movie. Like, get it like a Pink Floyd horror movie
Paper Drawing.
music biopic. That would be awesome. Like, do something like that. And of course, like, I try to explain this to my dad, who has like no clear understanding of what actual horror is. And I'm like, hey, Dad, it's like this. And he's like, oh, it's just like you could just make it what, like heads getting chopped off. I'm like, that's not what horror is, dude. Like, come on. And you can make it sort of this surreal psychological like threat of fame and dealing with, trying to make the music, but like getting too far into it, dealing with your own troubled issues. And yeah, because Janet Jackson said she didn't want to be in the movie. We talked about this.
Yeah.
So I think
That is based.
I
Thank you
think
for your advice.
well, okay, whatever. But the thing is, like, make it like a true psychological toll on like being a part of this. Like, I mean, there is kind of the lot of the stuff that like Roger Waters was going through in The Wall, where it's like he was
Mhm.
dealing with lack of a father figure. He was dealing, post-war Britain. He was dealing with like becoming like this monkey that with symbols for these people that he's like, oh, I have to play for you, like dealing with the psychological toll of like wanting to create music but at the same time feeling like you're nothing but like a clown, like just to play for people, and like you're nothing but
Yeah.
a tool of entertainment rather than a person. I
Well,
think doing something like that but like from a horror angle would be
Mhm.
very interesting, and something like Pink Floyd and their music could do that very, very well. So I think that's that. I know, I hate to break it to you, to all the people who don't fucking understand horror movies, figure drawing. It's not just about chopping heads off and shit like that. It's about psychological tolls, and that is how horror works. So I think that would
Yeah.
be I never I've okay, so the only Elvis biopic I saw was the John Carpenter TV movie from
You
1979,
didn't
which
see
was
the Baz Luhrmann one?
outrageously boring. Like, Kurt Russell was very good as Elvis, boring as hell. Like, it was like, oh my god, put me out of my misery.
I
Um
thought the Baz Luhrmann one was a imperfect movie. Again, because there's the whole thing of some things were sanitized, some things were, it's always a mixed bag. I mean, but again, it was fun because you enjoyed, if you loved Elvis's music, you want to see those gyrating hips, and it's Austin Butler on your screen. I mean, not many people are going to complain. But talking about Michael, look, right now it looks like it's well on its way to 600 to 700 million. It could potentially, Bohemian Rhapsody, remember guys, that made 910 million. That is the bar for musical biopics. Can Michael get there? We will talk about that too later. And to address your question, Stephen, I don't believe there's an extended cut of this, because the whole reason why we got a delay for a whole year was because they had to take away so much footage that involved characters that they legally can't use in the movie. So I mean, if there is an extended cut, it's firmly tucked away in some locker, at Lionsgate's halls or archives, but it's not going to see the light of day. You're not going to get to see those things that legally can't be shown in like a Blu-ray extra. So, but there is a chance some of the footage that they couldn't use in this movie, in the sequel or sequels, they could potentially bring that back. So that could be something they could do later on down the road. But yeah, let's see. Was there another question in the chat? I just wanted to touch on, Hunter, we will get to yours. Actually, you know what, John? Do you have anything to add to that? Can Zod still be used for Superman 3 instead of killing him, sent him to the Shadow Realm? I don't
I
think we've
think you
had a
mean the
Zod.
Phantom Zone. Shadow Realm is a
Yeah.
whole different
Yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
franchise.
But we don't have a Zod in the DCU yet.
I don't
so
I don't want to see him used
you
again.
know,
We've gotten
it's
so
yeah,
many adaptations. I would say just don't use him. Don't use
yeah.
him. I mean, you
Well,
could maybe, but it's just like you have Zod, you have Lex Luthor again, then you have Brainiac. We finally get Brainiac, and then we go back to yet another villain that we've seen a bunch of times. It's like let's try
yeah,
to be unique as much as we can.
yeah. Well, let's keep talking about Mike because we have a few other things to get into, John. So yeah, obviously it's top in China, it's top in North America, it's top in most of the markets. It's the highest opening for a biopic ever. I just want to kind of go through the day by day numbers because, like I said, if you scroll down here, John, we went from like 65 to 70 million to over the weekend 85 million. It could stay in the top couple of paragraphs there. And then as the weekend went along, it was just the numbers just kept on going up and up. And that's because the movie, had only a 22% drop from Saturday into Sunday. So if you guys ever follow the box office close enough, usually Saturday is the biggest day and then Sunday tends to be a big drop. So when the movies make most of their money, preview day, like Thursday numbers, in this case Michael also had a early screenings on Wednesday, those numbers always get combined with the numbers on Friday. So whatever number you get on Friday includes the Thursday previews and if they had any earlier previews all together. So that boosts the Friday number. Saturday usually is the biggest day for movie going, and then Sunday is usually the lowest. So for it to only drop by 22% from Saturday into Sunday, where on Sunday it made 25.4 million and Saturday it made 32.4. That's part of the reason why those numbers kept on going up, because the Sunday was a lot better than what they were expecting, and that's how it ended up making 219 million worldwide and 97 million domestic. So, John, if you keep going here, I did want to draw that comparison to other biopics, because that's the genre we're talking about here, especially musical biopics as well. So if you scroll down in here in the wrap, they did a great analysis here, and they have a little chart. So there you go. Top musical biopics box office openings at the domestic box office. If you zoom in a little bit, the chart shows Michael now at the very top with $97 million opening weekend. It's basically 50% more than what Straight Outta Compton did. It almost doubled what Bohemian Rhapsody did, and then Elvis, it's tripled that number. So we talked about Bohemian Rhapsody still holding the record in terms of most money at the box office. It had great legs. It opened to 51 million, went on domestically, and then worldwide it finished at 910. My question to you, John, would be, like Kevin was suggesting, 600 to 700 million, because it is doing really well internationally. I mentioned 97 million domestic, 219 overall. That means internationally audiences came out in even larger droves than they came out in North America. So do you think this movie has a shot at the Bohemian Rhapsody record of $910 million, or do you think it's going to be somewhere in that $600 to $700 million range, which would still make it one of Lionsgate's
I could
biggest
see
movies
both. I
ever? Yeah.
mean, the thing is with how big Michael is as a star,
Hey, MTG.
that it it's probably I could see like somewhere in between, like maybe 700 to 800, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna quite reach Bohemian Rhapsody. It could. I'm not, and I wouldn't be shocked if it did, but I'm still gonna say in between there, like in between those two ranges, because I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Bohemian Rhapsody just kept going and going and going. Bohemian Rhapsody was also, I feel like, a better movie, but you can never underestimate the popularity of Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
because this movie, if it's by the time it gets to its second weekend, if it's already collected another 150 million dollars, then like all bets are off. If this is like looking at if Michael is past 500 million by the time we get to this time, Monday next week, this time next week, if it's already hitting or even close to 500 million, then you're like, okay, it can have the legs, because May has a few big movies coming out. But like the Devil Wears Prada 2, while it's gonna, so Michael had a pretty big female audience. Like the majority of the audience actually ended up being female over 25. So there's a good chance that you could see some of that audience being stolen away by the Devil Wears Prada 2. But Michael is still such a big movie that, I mean, I have a feeling that, it's gonna continue to do well, even if the Devil Wears Prada comes in, to
Yeah,
take a
it's
few of
just
the audience
the
members
thing
away.
is, it's mostly populated by horror movies, and those movies can survive in the second, third, fourth, fifth spots because they're
Hmm.
made for nothing, and they could probably make all of its budget back and its marketing budget in one weekend, so they don't have to worry about taking over Michael. It's just like back rooms, boom, that's gonna fucking make all of its
Yeah,
money in a week. Obsession, boom. Hokum, boom. Fucking affection, boom, that's just gonna make all of its money back one weekend, and there you go. And then whether they like it or not, boom, doesn't matter, they made its
yeah,
money. So it don't matter
yeah,
if they don't need to overtake that, and they
yeah,
won't. So
yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I was gonna mention, I've seen reports of like people just literally walking up to the front of the theater and dancing along to the songs. So there's like this infectious nature to the, obviously, Michael Jackson's music, King of Pop. uh, Variety put together these 5 reasons why the bad reviews couldn't derail the movie at the box office. I just wanted
mhm.
to kind of quickly fly through these. I feel like we've talked about a few of them, but I think it's worth a mention. So one of the reasons that they mention is, well, it's kind of hard to stop a crowd pleaser, which we've been talking about. Like literally A minus cinema score, which is the third highest score you can get, because then the only two higher is A plus. A minus is generally considered really good, and like I said, people are just singing along, dancing along to the music, and even if the rest of the movie is kind of iffy, I think people are there to enjoy the music. This is also a movie that people have been waiting to see for not just years but decades. I think people wanted a Michael Jackson biopic when he was still alive. Not to mention, once he passed away, they're like, I can't wait for when the biopic comes out. Oh my god, that there's so many problems with that, and what is that going to look like? And now we finally have it, and however shallow it might be, it's still a crowd pleaser. So but yeah, let's keep going, John. We have a few more reasons here in Variety that they point out, which I think, again, worth the mention. Cue up the greatest hits. This is, again, you mentioned there's a theme here, whether it's the Elvis biopic, the Bob Dylan biopic, the Bruce Springsteen biopic, or the Queen biopic, Bohemian Rhapsody, as well as Michael. Like the formula tends to be, you just go and make sure you play the hits, right? It's like, if you're going on a new concert tour and you want to promote your new music, great, but you got to make sure you play the hits. As long as you play the hits, the people will show up. Even that Bob Marley biopic, some of my favorite moments were like when I was listening to some of his best songs. So hi, Stacy, and we'll get into the Authority stuff later, don't you worry. But let's keep going in the reasons here, John, because there's 3 more that Variety pointed out. And again, we've been talking about a lot of these reasons. They mentioned that Jackson's fans have long ago separated the art from the artist, which I think is worth a mention, John, because um, it's that whole thing of, can you look past the allegations, right? And I feel like in this instance, enough time has gone by, and while Michael Jackson was still alive, he was never convicted, and like that trial that happened. So people, there were a lot of people that were on the fence about it, how they felt about it, and then it's just one of those things where once he passed, and the circumstance in which he passed away, there's been enough separation of time that some fans are like, I'm just love Michael Jackson's music, and I can separate the man from from his work, which is fine. I mean, but you can also address the fact that he wasn't a perfect person. Some of those allegations are really disturbing. Like there was a lawsuit we'll talk about, that, like a fresh lawsuit, but um you could still have fun with the music itself. And this biopic kind of puts the music front and center at times, at the behest of Michael Jackson the person, which I feel like might be on purpose, considering again, it's obviously working financially. So, by the way, as far as how well it will do next weekend at the box office against the Devil Wears Prada 2, I have a feeling it will still be in the top 3. It will definitely be, in the top 3, probably going to be number 2. I don't think it wins out over Devil Wears Prada 2, but we'll get into that later, because the Devil Wears Prada 2 has some controversy around it right now as well. That's a good question. I mean, a Nirvana biopic probably not going to do as well as Michael Jackson, because it's Michael Jackson. Like, come on. Prince biopic would be fun. I don't know how easy that will be to put together. But also, like Ron is saying, the fans are still. I mean, Michael Jackson's fans are still kind of like in the peak of the, well, when I say peak of the prime, I mean they're not like Elvis fans. Elvis was around a longer time ago, or like the Beatles. I mean you have a younger fan base for Michael Jackson, so I think that definitely helps. And then of course, Lionsgate recently has been on a bit of a streak, John, because they had a shit ton of bad movies come out, like Borderlands, oh my god, The Crow. Then of course,
AKA
they
the
had
crap. So my friends call
the
it
other
the crap.
controversies. But between The Long Walk and then whether you like it or not, John, Now You See Me, Now You Don't was very profitable. They didn't spend a ton of money making the movie. And then even more than that, the Housemaid made $400 million just out of nowhere. So Lionsgate has been on a bit of a streak. And so this now, I guess, just provides more momentum to them. And I know Universal is distributing the movie internationally, but still Lionsgate, keeps on winning. So it turns out, and also their marketing campaign clearly did the job, but also, obviously it's Michael Jackson. So I don't think you needed to do a ton to market this movie outside of maybe belaying some people's fears if that was it. But there's, I think, one more reason they point out in this article. So the last one was box office momentum matters. And what they're talking about here, and I think this can address a larger conversation maybe later in the show, John. We have had Project Hail Mary. We have had Scream 7. And again, Scream 7, not the best movie, but it was one of the highest grossing in the franchise. Super Mario Galaxy is doing really well right now. It's continuing to play really well. I think it's not in the top spot, but it's still in the top 3. Project Hail Mary, I mentioned, it still came in 3rd at the box office, this weekend, which is insane to think about, that it's still sitting at number 3. They're not going to be putting that out on streaming anytime soon. So that combined with what we got coming up with, The Mandalorian and Grogu, you got Mortal Kombat 2, Devil Wears Prada 2. It's just that whole idea that when people go to see these movies at the box office, you're like, I had a good time at the movies last week, and now there's another movie that I want to go see. There's less friction in you wanting to go to the movies because your last 2 or 3 experiences were good. Whereas otherwise in the past, like the last few years, you might be like, I don't know, like the last time we went, it sucked. Like, I don't know if I want to go. Whereas like, I had a great time the last 2 times. You're more likely to go see the movie, which removes one more barrier to entry to these, to casual fans going to the movies. And yeah, MTG, you're right. The chairman of Lionsgate did confirm today that indeed they're working on a sequel. So there you go. And hello to Jalen in the chat. How are you doing? But with that, John, I did want to dive into, again, a few other pieces of detail. This was interesting. And now we're kind of moving past the box office talk. Apparently, Antoine Fuqua, the director of the movie, as well as Graham King, the producer of the movie, they got like pretty big pay bumps because they had to go through like these extensive reshoots, which it took them 3 weeks, like 22 days to reshoot the movie, to do the entire 3rd act all over again, and I'm sure bits and pieces in other parts of the movie. So the number here, if you scroll down in the article, originally, I think they mentioned this here, Antoine Fuqua originally was getting like 10 million for the movie. And Graham King, who produces the movie, was getting 6 million. Now, as part of the reshoots and rejigging this thing and, taking an extra year for it to come out, Antoine Fuqua got an extra $15 million, and then Graham King picked up an extra $10 million. So ultimately, Antoine Fuqua, who was going to originally walk away with just 10 million, just 10 million is, come on, 10 million is still a lot of money. He ended up getting, 25 million for all of his work. And then Graham King, the producer, originally only was going to get 6 million. Again, only 6 million, walks away with 16 million. So, and, the reshoots were pretty much on the Jackson State's dime. What do you take away from this? That's a lot of money to throw at your producer and director. And that's not even accounting for the money they spend actually reshooting the movie, and I'm sure all the production costs that go into it. I thought this was fascinating that they got, that's like, in both instances, they were making, 100 and 150% more than what their original salaries were on top of what they already got paid. So that's, I don't know if that's greasing the wheels or like what that means, but like that's a pretty
interesting, I guess.
Pretty hefty pay bump, just to reshoot the movie. Maybe part of that has to do with their commitments to come back for do a sequel or 2, I don't know. I just thought this was fascinating. That is crazy to think about, right? 10, but then another 15 on top, 6, but another 10 on top. It's not even like they just doubled that number. They were like 150% more on top of what you already got. So that's wild. But there were some characters cut out from the movie, John. We mentioned before, obviously, there's some characters that legally couldn't be a part of the movie. As part of that, apparently, Kat Graham was originally playing Diana Ross in the film, and there's an article here. If you go to the next one, Kat Graham mentioned, and she confirmed this on social media the other day, that she was gonna play Diana Ross, and that role was indeed cut from the Michael Jackson biopic for certain legal considerations. She didn't really go into a lot of details. Do you care to speculate like why Diana Ross's character was cut out of the movie, or do you think it's
No
something along
idea.
the same lines as
I
like
mean,
the other stuff?
I mean, there was the whole thing with like they didn't even, and a friend of mine talked about this. They didn't even have like the whole impact of like the Wiz, because that's
Hmm.
how fucking Michael Jackson met Quincy Jones. So it's like that's a big thing. It's just like he goes to like just immediately goes to knowing him, and it's like, well, that's interesting. So maybe this was part of that. I don't know, but like
Yeah.
maybe the Diana Ross estate didn't sign off on her being in the movie, so they had to cut her out. And it's just like it's just we're kind of reaching a point where it's like, okay, it's nice to have a Michael Jackson movie, but like if there's too much illegal turmoil or legal turmoil, it's just that at this point don't fucking make the movie, dude. Like it's just
It's
it's but I hate it's making millions and millions of dollars, so I guess they did something right. But it's just like if you have to bob and weave and all this other shit, it's just like at this point, fucking don't make the movie,
yeah.
man. But
Well, I mean, this is like Stacey's referring to the idea that they might be wanting to do a sequel. I mean, I'm sure they have some ideas on what that they want to be starting something new, but like otherwise, they didn't think they would run into the problems they did with this movie and the reshoots. So I don't know. Maybe Jackson State will find other issues where they're like, oh, we can't actually add this stuff, and like, do we actually have a movie or enough of a story for a sequel at all? It would be a shame if we didn't get a sequel, because I want to see some of those other latter half of Michael Jackson's career moments be realized in a movie, however shallow it might be. But anyway, that's just the fan in me. Um, but I mean, yes, the original cut of the movie was 4 hours long, but like obviously they cut a lot of stuff out. A lot of that stuff can't be put back in for legal reasons. Yeah. I mean, she does look. Yeah, Cat Graham definitely looks like a young Diana Ross. They definitely did cast for the part. But John, the last thing I want to kind of mention, we're not gonna spend too much time on it, but I kind of hinted at this earlier. If you go to the next article, um, it does look like we have another lawsuit. The second
oh,
family, quote
how
unquote, of Michael Jackson.
convenient. Oh, hey,
Um,
look, Michael Jackson has a big movie coming out, and it just so happens that, oh, yeah, they're
it's
coming out
definitely
now
not a
and saying that
coincidence.
he assaulted somebody else.
Um,
Isn't that convenient?
I mean, the timing is definitely not, uh, a coincidence, but
No.
as far as the veracity of the claims, like that's what the loss. I mean, if this goes ahead into a trial or not, that will be, what decides it. Um, but yeah, I mean, look, it just goes to show you this is,
If I
like
had
you
a
said, there's
nickel
a lot
for
of
every
friction
person
around.
that vehemently defended
Yeah,
Michael wasn't a child molester, only for them to backpedal for certain convenient reasons, I'd have two nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice and will probably happen thrice or even four times. So, isn't that
yeah,
interesting?
yeah. I mean, there's just like you guys are talking about in the chat. There's a lot of potential issues they have to like jump around with the second potential legal concerns, right? Like not
Right.
but it's whether it's not the court of public opinion, it's like legal settlements and stuff and how that affects things. So again, and then this latest law, whatever that turns into or not, might have an impact. So it's, while they're saying his story continues, I mean, whether we get a Michael sequel, what that looks like, that's still probably at least somewhat in the air. But like I personally would love to see it. It's just not a guarantee, considering how much it took and the long winding road it took for us to get this far. um MTG saying focusing on the music in his career and family could allow this movie to sell better than if the allegations and turmoil were inserted. I mean, fair. I think that's what they were probably thinking too. But at this point the movie's out, so we can't do much about this one. What they do with the sequel will be different. I mean, Coleman Domingo last week on the Today Show hinted that he implied that one of the reasons why they didn't touch on some of those issues, like accusations, is because there might be a sequel. So maybe their intention is to go back to that stuff. But like we've talked about, is it really possible legally for them to even be able to do it, considering the reasons why they had to take it out for the first movie? So, yeah. But I mean, look, uh, the movie's making money. If I had to guess right now, like you said, John, I'm thinking 700 million is probably the current ceiling, but we'd have
Hmm.
to see how, like, if it has really like good legs. If it's able to get to 500 million by this time next week or maybe midweek next week, then I think we're probably looking somewhere over 700 million, by the time it's all said and done. Because Lionsgate has no reason to pull this movie from theaters anytime soon. They're gonna let it run as long as it does. And it's the kind of movie that you can go in and enjoy a few times over because it's like so superficial. It's not like the kind of movie that is slog to get through. So I bet you a lot of people, like MTG was saying earlier in the chat, they're gonna go see it again. A movie spot took his entire family to see it already. So I'm sure we'll keep making money. You guys let us know in the comments what you think about Michael. And of course, whether you saw it or not, John gave his review. I gave my review last week. We talked about the box office. It is the highest grossing opening weekend for a biopic, not just a musical biopic, but for any biopic, period. It broke the records for Oppenheimer. It did better than American Sniper, did better than Bohemian Rhapsody. But now, the road ahead for Michael, do you think it's going to get to anywhere close to what Bohemian Rhapsody ultimately finished at, which was $910 million? So let us know in the comments, what do you think? Did you enjoy the movie? Would love to hear from you. So, I mean, Ron is taking his family to see it this weekend. So there you go. All right. Well, in the meantime, we're going to move on. We're going to move past the Michael talk. We're going to talk about some MCU weekly stuff. Um, John, you want to kick us off with MCU Weekly because there was some somber news today, and I know you want to talk about this
Yes.
specifically because you're more of a comic fan, fan than I am. So I'm not
Mhm.
as familiar with his work, but we did have, the passing
Yes,
of
one of the
Gerry
most probably
Conway.
illustrious Marvel Comics
Yeah,
writers. He co-created Punisher, Miss Marvel, and has done a lot of work for both Marvel and DC, but mainly Marvel. He did a lot of amazing work, and unfortunately, he has passed away at the age of 73. Um, and it's just sad to see, even though he older, so he did live a nice, good, long life. It's still sad to see someone as legendary as Gerry Conway. Like, this man has done so much for Marvel Comics, and a good amount for DC Comics as well. Just, be no longer on this mortal coil. He I've read a little bit of his stuff. I don't remember which. I think it was I read some of his Fourth World stuff that was made after Jack Kirby left. Um but he's just done so much, and it's just, you know, sad to see as always, and just something I wanted to commemorate a little bit because we talk about comics so much, and he's done a lot for comics, which I mean is an understatement, but it's, always sad to see just legends pass away and some other people don't for some reason. Anyway, but yeah, so
okay.
Dan
So
Buckley
yes,
said Gerry Conway was a gifted writer. He was thoughtful, deeply attuned to the emotional, moral core of storytelling, and a wonderful and articulate advocate for comics and creators. His writing has inspired all of us at Marvel and will continue to inspire generations of writers, readers, and fans to come. And he started working for Marvel back in 1971. He worked on Man Thing and Werewolf by Night and Dracula, and Frank Castle, his biggest you know one of his biggest
amazing.
contributions, which was
Yeah.
also made by John Romita Sr. and Ross Andrew. But yeah, and just a lot of people have been giving a lot of great tributes online
Kevin
as
Feige, I
well.
saw. Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, just
yeah,
sad to see, but his legacy will forever surpass his
yeah.
lifetime because of all the great things he did. So I
I
mean,
mean, uh, I hope that I hope that he got to see a version of the Punisher special, before his passing.
yeah,
Um, but definitely, and yeah, so and I'm sure they'll have a mention for him in the credits or some like a dedication to him. Kevin Feige put out a really nice statement honoring his legacy as well. So, but as we move forward, I mean, of course, our best wishes in this time of mourning for Gerry Conway's friends and family. it's 73 or not, like it's always too early for somebody to pass away when they're your loved one. So and he was loved by millions who enjoyed the works that he brought us for Marvel over the years. So with that, we're gonna move on to a bunch of Marvel news, John. I guess we could do this quick hit style because there's so much to get through.
And very
let's dive into
fitting
it,
for the
shall we?
next one, from the creator's death to the man himself, Punisher, one last kill. A bloodied Frank Castle enters the war zone in new look at special presentation. So we do get a little bit in regards to one last kill. And it is coming in a couple weeks, so that's very, very exciting. But yeah, I can't wait for it. 100% be watching it. I don't care if it connects to Born Again. I need to watch it, blah, blah. No, fuck that. I'm just going to be watching my boy Frank Castle fuck shit up because that's what I want to see.
He wrote it, he produced it, I don't know if he directed it, but like he's certainly starring in it. It's all his work, so can't wait. Yeah. Can't wait. John Bernthal is about to have a year between this and the Odyssey and wherever else he might show up. I mean, well, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Yeah.
But in terms of the other street hero, Daredevil Born Again set photos reveal season 3's new costumed villain. Major spoilers, but
hold on. I'm gonna put up a spoiler warning here. There we go.
That'll stop people.
You guys don't want to get spoiled.
But it's been hinted at a few times in season 2, but it seems Margarita Laviva will indeed become the female Muse. The original Muse had a small but key role in the show's first season. So it seems like we will be getting her, and
there you go.
Looks good, looks cool. So Heather Glenn is playing
Muse.
Lady Muse. So
it's
very
the
nice.
other Muse, right, Ron? That's what that is. But that's not the only like spoilery photos that came out of the shoot in New York for Daredevil Born Again season 3. Wait, did you? Oh, hold on. Can you go to the? I think I've changed the order of these. There's another one. If you find the. No, not there. There's another Daredevil photo. There you go. Then we'll go back to the other stuff. This makes more sense here. We gotta look at what Kingpin is gonna be like in season 3, John.
Bro looks like a hobo.
He's on the streets, so.
And we have Sheila Rivera trying to get her
confirmed
for mayor.
Spider-Man Brand New Day's trailer already spoiled that a long time ago, but
yep.
Damn, like it's
well, she's
hard
the interim
times.
mayor, so now they're
right. But hard times for the Kingpin though. I mean, he's walking around like nobody's gonna recognize him. Santa Fisk. He's got the beard and everything. He still cuts an imposing figure though. I mean, Vincent.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
You don't want to mess with that guy. So almost looks like he's like a character in the John Wick universe, like
like Lawrence Fishburne's. Are you pissed off? Are you pissed off, Matt? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm pissed off. Yeah.
But now going back to the order, fucking up the order. Marvel Comics reveals Final Queen in black covers, including swimsuit and Nullbuster variants. So going to the comic side of things, we got a little bit.
Come on, John. There's only one cover here that we really care, but I'll let you go through all of them. If you
Black Cat. We got Doom Quest. We got Jeff the Land Shark. That's what I care about.
Yeah.
Titties are temporary. Jeff the Land Shark is forever. All right, let's just get that perfect.
I like the Wade Wilson Deadpool. I mean, the Punisher one looks great. The Venom, all added in together. That's the symbiote.
This looks like something. This looks like the Tron movie we should have gotten.
Yes.
Instead of Jared Leto.
Yes. They got.
But this looks
Queen
pretty cool.
And then you got
also
that. That's like
cool.
the absolute Queen in Black.
Very nice.
And then that.
We got Marvel Rivals.
There you go.
Vibes. Boom. I
don't know why I still have the spoiler warning up. I'm gonna take that off because we've been past the spoilers. Anyway, we didn't want to be spoiled by these posters.
But Spider-Man Brand New Day Funko Pops. God, these are still in business. I can't wait. I can't wait for Funko Pops to fucking go bankrupt. Jesus fucking Christ. Confirmed 2 costumes for Peter Parker and reveal Savage Hulk. So that's kind of cool. So we get Savage Hulk. Very nice. And then we get the No Way Home. Get out of here. The No Way Home suit, and then the more accurate suit, the better suit that we're gonna be getting. So
Do you think he's gonna reuse that old suit again at some point?
I think like he'll maybe have it in the beginning, because I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna have like bits and pieces of like, oh, this is what his life has been for the past 4 years, and then it's gonna get to the present. So
like the last movie ended with him with the new suit, though. Anyway, it's kind of cool to see like we might get that suit coming back. It will be interesting.
Marvel has not been one for continuity, Dan. Come on now, even you know this.
I guess that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, look at Don Cheadle. Was originally Terrence Howard, so.
No, I know he's like, I'm here. It's it's gonna talk about it. Like it's
Jon Favreau talks possible Spider-Man Brand New Day return. Sadie Sink leaks seemingly confirmed as real, because this is why we can't have nice things. But here, he was kind of. We have him talking about it, but because he was talking about Mandalorian. Like basically, Grogu.
Okay, I'm gonna TLDR what he said. He was kind of confused. He was like, oh no, he forgot about Peter Parker forgot that I existed, so I don't think I'm in the next one and stuff. I'm like, John, like it's not that Peter Parker forgot about you, it's that you forgot about Peter Parker. But he kind of got that flipped, but I don't know. Jon Favreau's clearly not focused on this as a priority right now. He's working on Star Wars.
He does not give a fuck. He's like, all I care is about my stupid Star Wars movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's not call it stupid just yet. But I mean, look, the part about Sadie Sink playing Jean Grey comes from Disney started doing copyright takedowns of that image that leaked last week. I don't think our video has been taken down yet. Fingers crossed, because we had that photo up for like 20 minutes. But it does look like, because they're taking those down through DMCA takedowns. I mean, John, it looks like Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey, which you had already got a rant about. So I'm not.
Yeah, I got the anger out of me. I still hate it. I still want to hit Kevin Feige with a shovel. So, that bit by Patton Oswalt where it's like, I want to go back in time and hit George Lucas with a shovel? That's what I want to do. You know what I want to do? What Don Cheadle was promising to baby Thanos. And then just that.
I think you tightened the noose a lot tighter than even he did, and then that anyway. She doesn't have to.
Can't we just go back in time to baby Thanos and just?
I mean, that would have been simpler than whatever time travel rules they came up with. Well, you know what, Watcher, you were right, and we'll talk about that later about Clayface. But yes, you did tell us. Let's keep going, John. We got more Marvel quick hits. We got this fashion runway music playing in the background. We gotta keep it going.
Hell yeah! Vision Quest set photo reveals first look at supporting villain and possible Madripoor setting.
Supporting villain is like a bit of an exaggeration. He's playing a lead mercenary, whatever the f that means. But
we do get a little bit
featured,
and he looks pretty cool, I guess. But I'm excited for Vision Quest if it's back to being called Vision Quest, because it was called Vision Quest, then it became Vision, but I guess now it's Vision Quest again. I don't know, but I'm excited for it because someone who actually understands sci-fi will be heading it, Terry Metalis. So I'm excited for it.
Sure. Absolutely.
Can we just please just fire Alex Kurtzman and just get him to fucking showrun all the Star Trek shows? That would be
I wouldn't mind. They're gonna do a bit of a reboot, I think, or some kind of soft reboot. So maybe that's the right time to change guard.
Yeah, like someone who's actually been a part of the franchise for a long time. Crazy, right?
Yeah. Do you guys like this new MCU quick hits, music? I figured we'd try something different.
I like the EDM. Anyway.
Yeah.
But also, I would like to say, before people take my comments too seriously, no, I don't want to actually kill Kevin Feige. I just wish he wasn't using my Spider-Man movie for a trailer for the upcoming X-Men movie. That's all I care about. Okay? That's all I care about. Anyway, we already talked about that. Although, speaking of X-Men, apparently Hunter Schafer, hopefully we don't get demonetized for this image, but Hunter Schafer is still being considered for a Mystique role in MCU X-Men reboot. I can see it. I think she'll do a good job.
This is a very well placed image for that. I
just hope we don't get demonetized for it. That's all. But you know, I think, I mean, I haven't seen I saw bits and pieces of her in Cuckoo, which looked like a good movie. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see it, but like from the bits and pieces I saw, she seems like a fine actress, but I haven't seen Euphoria or anything else she's been in, so I assume she'll do a good job. So yeah, do you watch?
I mean, if people still wanted to see her like in the Legend of Zelda movie, obviously they've been a lot younger. I mean,
but this is coming from My Time to Shine, which is notoriously bullshit.
Well, remember, she did say she's still being considered. Doesn't mean that like her representatives are talking.
And it's okay. So this is like a 1-2 punch of bullshit. It's My Time to Shine and Jeff Snyder. This doesn't mean dog shit. Okay, never mind. We're moving on. Well, no offense to Hunter Schafer.
Well, Jeff Snyder. Remember, Jeff Snyder's called. Like, what was the other person? Like he said somebody else was being considered.
I don't know. I don't care. Fuck Jeff Snyder. There's been like. That's an early fuck Jeff Snyder for you all. But Wonder Man's surprising MCU origin story revealed it was pitched as a joke on the Shang-Chi set. So, but so apparently the idea of Wonder Man teaming up with Trevor Slattery was a joke, but then they're like, what if we can actually do it? And then they did it, and then it turned look at it now.
The best thing Marvel's done in a couple of years. So and now they're getting a season 2, which I think they're meant to start filming it later this year, so it might be coming out as early as next year. So yeah, John, you move real quickly past that whole Hunter Schafer.
Well, it's quick hits, isn't it? So moving on. Apparently the Avengers. Wait, I think this might be the last actual quick hit. So
yes. Okay,
there we go.
Right, now we're gonna talk about Avengers Doomsday now.
Yeah. Gross. This is all you. I don't fucking care.
Well, John, we got those leaked photos that we got a while ago. If you scroll down, just scroll down slowly through all the DMCA takedowns that Disney did, because these were the shots of like the costumes. But when we saw the Doctor Doom's costume, there were all these like modeling shots for like photo shoots for Sam Wilson's Captain America, Steve Rogers, Cyclops. I think if you go to the next article, there might still be a couple of these left up online. Unless Disney.
Yeah, like look at all of these.
Yeah, all of these gone. Mystique, that costume. We thought at the time that those were all like AI, but the fact that they're now taking them all down means, I mean, this shit was real. That's the costume we're gonna be getting. And if you saw the CinemaCon footage, then this is it. I mean, hey Eric, how are you doing?
This one got Marvel Hype Insider. His shit got taken down. Yeah. This picture. But the thing is, this totally fucking looks like AI.
It does.
This does not look real. It doesn't look like James Marsden's face.
I mean, it does look like his face, but I mean, also like maybe a couple of these weren't entirely real or AI enhanced. But I mean, it looks like, I mean, that does match the. Remember, these photos came out before those teaser Clue trailers came out, but clearly that matches. The look that we got in that X-Men teaser. So. Yeah, all that shit is apparently real, Watcher. In fact, this person, Marvel Hype Insider, actually like put up a video. I don't know if you can play the video, because he went through and he was like, look at all these ones that got taken down, because you can see him in his own account, but they're publicly, like Shuri. Obviously, we have seen that now in the teaser trailer, the clues. We saw some Fantastic Four stuff. I mean, it's pretty consistent. The Doctor Doom costume is probably the most recognizable in the one where you're like, oh, the belt matches. It's the same thing that we saw in the CinemaCon footage, or those of us who have seen it last week. The Mystique costume.
That Mystique costume looks like fucking dog shit. Jesus Christ.
I will say, like, we have seen better, but then again, I think Rebecca Romaine didn't want to do the walking around half naked thing again, which is fine. She's in Strange New Worlds right now, by the way, which we'll talk about later. The visor does look a little bit off, but again, I mean, some of these images might have been AI enhanced. The fact that those images are still up might mean those were the AI, but like definitely you could see the vast majority of them were taken down. So they were real. It looks, I mean, and that's the Doctor Doom, costume design we saw in that footage at CinemaCon last week. So there you go. Avengers Doomsday. It looks like Disney decided to finally go after all those promo images, because they were like, I guess we're going to use those, so we can't leave them up, on these social media accounts anymore. Right, Watcher. That's been the reporting that there will be multiple Doctor Doom costumes in the movie. So
All right, Dan, can we move on to like actually good MCU stuff? Well, it's not MCU, but like it's like actually good like Marvel stuff now.
Right. Well, we're gonna move past MCU Weekly. We're gonna switch over to TV Talk Terror. So let's do that. Speaking of TV Talk Terror,
finally some good fucking food. Thank God. Thank the heavens. None of that garbage. Now we have cinema. It's not in a cinema, but it is cinema. Okay? So, oh, beautiful. Now this I love. Brilliant. Perfect. Nick Cage, my boy. Nick Cage, I love you. Never stop, never stopping.
John, you saw the trailer for Spider Noir? This is the full trailer for Spider Noir.
Perfect. We're not getting. It looks like we're not getting Electro or Molten Man. They're just kind of like similar characters, but apparently the character with the electricity powers isn't Electro. It's Megawatt, which like maybe means that they want to like save.
I thought it was Electro. Okay, so never mind. Okay.
No, so it's not. And then Molten Man is unnamed. We don't know if that's Molten Man or not. The guy with the fire. So he might be a totally different character. So there's that as well. But yeah, this definitely looks awesome. We got more Robbie Robertson. We got more. We got to see his organic webbing as well, and it's like black apparently because remember this version of Spider-Man, the Spider, aka Ben Reilly, got his powers from the spider totem, not obviously a radioactive spider because there wasn't a lot of radioactive shit happening in the 30s. So he got his from the spider totem, and so he would obviously have different spider powers. And it's probably just, and plus it's like 1930s. Why the fuck would he have web shooters? That makes no sense. So
I mean, his web shooters would be like a brick if there were such a thing.
I mean, Tom Holland's already looked like a brick in that fucking.
That's true. That's true. I mean, this is gonna release in black and white and true color or true vision, whatever the color thing they're calling it. To address what you guys were asking, it does release on MGM Plus first. Lucky me, I have MGM Plus. May 25th, I get to watch it, and then it's gonna get a wider release, as it were, on Amazon Prime Video on the 27th. So everybody else gets it a couple of days later, or you can subscribe to it.
It's like all the MGM. It's like, please clap, please come to our streaming service, please. You're gonna get it 2 days early, please.
They're like the same company. Anyway, the same company owns them both. Hi, Chino.
Just fold in MGM Plus into Amazon Prime. This is just sad.
I know. Like, don't tell me twice. You ain't gotta tell me twice. I don't
You're the fucking idiot that pays for it. Like, come on.
Yeah,
now.
I really thought when MGM got rolled into Amazon that they were gonna like just merge the streaming services because there's just no reason for them. I don't get it. Maybe it's like they're like, this is our prestige service, but I mean, MGM, the name, obviously, that maybe that's the name brand value or something, whatever. It's fine. It's like a more of a niche thing, and people have it. Some people have it. But I mean, John, this trailer was epic. I saw the black and white version, and I'm like, oh shit, this is really cool. Like, and it's got the Nick Cageisms, but it also looks, it's just, I'm like, they completely nailed the 30s vibe, and it's like noir in the best way possible. It's almost like Batman meets Spider-Man in some ways, or Spider-Man meets Batman in some ways, because it's got that like darker look to it, and you get a much better idea of the story. I mean, hi Anthony. We did talk a lot about Michael Jackson earlier, and I think we'll continue the conversation as the week goes on, but thank you for bringing that up. The world is filled with lots of color, beautiful, radiant color. John, how excited are you about this? Is this? I mean, Brendan Gleeson, you get so much more of him in this. Of course, playing the super.
He's apparently playing Silvermane, so that's interesting. Jack Houston, who is essentially playing the same character in everything he's in. He played the same character in Boardwalk Empire, and now he's playing the same character here. He's going to be playing Sandman, so that's interesting. And then we have Felicia Hardy, who's now Cat Hardy, who's playing a femme fatale of sorts, and that's interesting.
Please and thank you.
But yeah, great stuff.
Yes, we'll get into that, Watcher. Don't you worry. We're getting into we're gonna get to the quick hits. Django Zorro crossover is gonna be epic. But this is great. I had a smile across my face like the whole time. It's like a 2-minute long proper full ass trailer. The show comes out like less than a month from now, and I couldn't be more excited. So yeah, Spider Noir. This probably is the best Spider-Man thing that's going to come out this year. It's already getting, early Emmy consideration. They're going to do a full campaign for it. I mean, Lord and Miller are involved with this, right? So yeah, those guys can't seem to miss these days. Um, but yeah, no Cape
Fuck
Crusader
Cape
on this.
Crusader. All my homies hate Cape Crusader. Fuck that show. Fuck that dog shit. Spider Noir is where it's at.
Which, by the way, is also on Amazon Prime. So, you know. Hi, Win. Can you turn your mic up? My mic. Oh, am I coming in low? Or are you
Yeah,
being,
maybe a
am I
little
coming in
bit,
hot?
but yeah, boy.
I feel like, I mean, you guys let me know. Is my audio low? I feel like my audio was, I was trying to balance it out with John's, or unless I'm too loud and you're being sarcastic. Silverman is the Sal Maroni of to Kingpin. Yeah, fair. MTG seems to think it's okay. Well, I might have been too loud, or he might have been being facetious. But anyway, John, this is not the only TV talk trailer we got to get into. We got a couple more to talk about. The next one is Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 4. I know the Zorro Django stuff we'll talk about later, but I watched this. This is like a minute-long trailer. They released it at CCXP Mexico. It's fun. We know the show is ending after season 5, so this is season 4. They've already shot season 5. You get to see more of Pike, you know, the new, not just Captain Pike, but like obviously you get to see the actor there who in the yellow. He's playing the younger version of Captain. God, why am I blanking on this? Kirk. I was gonna say Picard. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. No, it's the new version of Captain Kirk, the younger version. In fact, William Shatner recently gave him an endorsement online, so he's got the passing of the baton from the Shatman himself. Yeah. So, Strange New Worlds. This is, I think, the waning days of this era of Star Trek TV shows. If you hate it, then you're happy that it's ending. I personally really enjoy Strange New Worlds. Not every episode works, but by and large, I think it's some of the best stuff that this era of Star Trek has put out there. So I enjoy it. And so season 4 I'll be watching. And then, you know, season 5 will be the last one. Season 5 they're introducing Bones and Sulu, John. So they're bringing back 2 legacy characters, or reintroducing them.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to see how it ultimately all ties up together, because, you know, Captain Kirk, or the younger version of Captain Kirk, has already been a pretty big part of this story, and I feel like they're trying to naturally transition to the point when Pike eventually, like, you know, has to transition away. I'm sure end of season 5 is going to have Captain, you know, Kirk be the captain of Enterprise, alongside, of course, Ethan Peck plays Spock. Rebecca Romaine, obviously, I mentioned earlier, is in the show as well. So yeah, and the rest of the cast is pretty impressive as well. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna give this franchise a bit of a break, because Alex Kurtzman's deal with Paramount is currently under renegotiation, and he might not be involved with Star Trek even if he does re-up with Paramount. So right, enterprising. New beautiful women, and, you know, entering strange new worlds is literally what Kirk did every week. So I wouldn't, you know, John, I wouldn't mind, because Strange New Worlds has had this quality where they did these, like, you know, not monster of the week episodes, but like the show felt episodic at times in a way that I miss about old school Star Trek, where you could watch an episode of the week and not feel like you missed much if you skip it and then came back for next week, right? I miss that quality about TV shows. I feel like TV shows are too serialized today, and I feel like the Strange New Worlds, more than any of the other Star Trek shows in the recent era, had tried to be a little episodic at times, not always. Anyway, I enjoyed this. I'm a Trekkie. I watch all Trek, so, you know, I'll watch it. Still haven't seen Section 31 though. Was that what that was called? The Michelle Yeoh?
Yeah,
movie?
and was
Yeah,
apparently
that was
very bad.
really, the trailers didn't convince me, and the reviews were terrible. Anyway, let's keep going, John. The next one I think you're excited about, because I saw this trailer. It's been a couple of days now since this came out. But Star City, which is the spin-off of For All Mankind, which I think you mentioned it last week, this picks up from basically the beginning of For All Mankind, but except now the story is being told from the Soviet perspective. Riz, how do you pronounce his name? Rhys Ifans? Rhys Ifans. He's like the, I guess, the Ed Baldwin of this show. I wonder how, you know, how much family he's got that can be killed off one by one every season. We'll see. Poor Ed. But you know, he's going to be the driving force behind the Soviet space program. The trailer was impressive. It was a couple of minutes long. Two things I noticed. One, they were like, they didn't go the route of, oh, everybody's going to talk in English, but with a Russian or Soviet accent. They just decided everybody's going to speak in a British English accent. So I'm like, okay, I guess on some spectrum, that's all right. I mean, you would expect maybe that they could do with everybody just speaking in Russian, and then you do subtitled, sub and dub, but maybe, I mean, I don't know, like maybe that's not mainstream enough. But also, I feel like this show in and of itself, the concept isn't mainstream enough. What I'm worried about is, Sean, even if the show is as good as For All Mankind has been, I feel like it's just not going to catch the same kind of audience attention that For All Mankind did.
It's not America. It's not America. It's those damn commies. Story from, like, you know,
the Soviet perspective. It's just not going to catch as much of, you know, maybe it can. You never know. I just worry that this show will probably only last a couple of seasons, but you know what? It is a spin-off. I mean, maybe they'll do some other spin-off down the road, because it looks good. I will say it looks good. And I'll just have to wait and see once the show comes out, because I'm sure there's a lot, you know, that you can't show in a trailer, because this is the kind of, For All Mankind has been the kind of show where there's a lot of layered storytelling and a lot of good character work. You can't get that information in the trailer alone. The trailer, this as being the first trailer, didn't leave as much of an impression on me as the first For All Mankind trailer did. But again, that's because, you know, we had that American perspective of, you know, Neil Armstrong landing, you know, stepping down on the moon, that first, you know, step on the moon. What was it? A small step for man, a giant leap for mankind.
One small step for a man, one giant leap for
exactly
mankind.
So you just don't have, like, you know, that sense of like connection to this is different, and it's taking it one step further, because it's not the American perspective. It's just, you know, so it's one level deeper into the alternate history aspect. But I still had fun with it. Are you excited for Star City?
I mean, I'm like kind of, I don't know if I'll watch it. Like, I might watch it if it's good enough, but like I'm not nearly as excited for it as I was with For All Mankind. Like, I wanted to watch that for a while, and finally I got to watching it. And plus, it's just like now that I've you know, watched it with my parents, my dad's like, yeah, if we're interested in the show, yeah, we're not watching it with you, because fuck you take too long and you're not like in the mood all the time. And I'm like, okay, that kind of puts the damper of me wanting to watch the show, so I don't know if I'll watch it. But you know, it's fine. You know, not the first time my dad has insulted me to my face, and it won't be the last. So that's just how it be. My dad's a very nice man. Don't be worried about me. I'm just saying, like, he lets his emotions run wild sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a decent show, but it's just like, you know, it's not like, you know, I mean, I hate to like sound like, oh, pro America, like nothing like that. It's just like I can relate to that. I don't really relate to the Russian side of things, and I don't want to see these fuckers winning again. Fuck that. Fuck the commies. But like, if it gets like really good reviews, like, oh my god, it's like Better Call Saul levels, where it's like, oh my god, it's just as good, if not better, then maybe I'll watch it. But like, if it's like, oh, it's a decent effort but nothing much, then I'll probably skip it. So
yeah, and I agree with you guys talking about Star Trek in the chat, by the way. But let's keep going, John. Now we have a few TV talk quick hits, as it were. So let's go. We have a few other pieces of information and news that we want to get into. I mean, we missed a couple of shows last week, so we figured we'd bring a few of these things in there. So let's do that. Scooby-Doo Origins, John, they have started production. We got a first look.
Apparently that's the name of it, because that's interesting. Yeah, like, it's just like doing what you can to introduce a new generation to like these great characters, because Scooby-Doo, it's just weird that Scooby-Doo is one of those things where it's just a constant. Like, we always, like, ever since 1969 when they were first introduced, they've just been a constant. It's just like, it's so weird and like endearing. It's just like a couple of kids and a dog fucking, you know, solving mysteries in a fucking ugly ass van. I'm like,
yeah.
It's just so interesting how like this is the thing that takes, but like, even, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I love Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is fucking goated. or dog id. But you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's weird. Like, this is the thing that like, there's so many like insane ideas that never take, whether they're too niche or too broad. But this thing, it just like it just took, and like we got like all those movies, all the spin-off shows, all the shit, and just like Scooby-Doo, man. It's just, that's one of the things, bro.
You want to show I think they gave us a little image. I think the first look at this.
Where it's the four of them.
There you go.
Got Maxwell Jenkins, McKenna Grace. I don't remember these two actors, but Velma and Shaggy, all four of them. No dog yet. It's probably going to be CGI.
The cast does look great.
This looks awesome. This looks really.
All right. Then after this, we got to talk about Scarlett Johansson continues to do big things. She's got another TV show, this time with Netflix. I'm speaking of Netflix.
Nanny Diaries. Apparently, it's coming back for some fucking reason. Greg Berlanti again, because he's the one producing the Scooby-Doo show. So now he's producing this. It's like, why? Because this is the thing that people really wanted to see. Oh yeah, bring back Nanny Diaries. Okay, sure.
Well, you know, in some sadder news, John, it looks like the Clueless show, the new sequel. Is it a sequel? Or
oh sequel no! What a shame. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, where's the dog? Yeah, it looks like the Clueless sequel series with Alicia Silverstone is no longer in development. So, yeah.
I'm not crying over it. No offense, but
yeah. Well, that's all the movie, TV talk quickest we got. We gotta get into some movie talk madness, John. We got another trailer to talk about. Let me switch over the graphic. Movie talk madness. Walk us through. Did you see this? There's a trailer out finally for that movie, Verity. Is that how you say it? Verity. It's
Colleen Hoover. Johnson. I don't care.
It's the Colleen Hoover based story. Well, she wrote the book, so it's like the fourth one in the last like 3 years. Interestingly enough, all are different studios. It's a cool it's an interesting concept, right? So Anne Hathaway's author is like, looks like she's paralyzed in the movie, and Josh Hartnett plays the husband, and so she can't finish the book she was writing, and then Dakota Johnson's character gets to come over and basically live in with this family, and she's a ghostwriter who's now trying to finish the book that Anne Hathaway's character can't finish. And then, of course, you know, like you said, it's a Colleen Hoover book, so it's a psychological thriller, but there's also, like, you know, other themes, like Dakota Johnson's character ends up starts having an affair with the Josh Hartnett, the husband, and except, like, you know, when they start getting intimate, let's say, they're making out and stuff, somehow, like, she starts seeing like Anne Hathaway instead of, you know, Josh Hartnett. So it's all of a sudden it's like Anne Hathaway making out with Dakota Johnson, which I'm sure some of you guys will enjoy. But then there's like the idea is, like, while she's as a ghostwriter finishing the story that she's writing for Anne Hathaway's now paralyzed character, she finds this other unfinished manuscript that Anne Hathaway's author character had written before, which apparently reveals new details and twists and turns about, like, you know, the real life nature of this couple and all that. And so it has some horror elements and stuff. I will say the movie kind of intrigued me just from the psychological thriller aspect of it. Am I gonna go to see it in the movie theater? I guess I'll see if it's probably not gonna be up my list of priorities, but it looked interesting. And I just wanted to kind of bring this up because I know this is one of those like Amazon MGM movies that is meant to be like one of their big ones that they're focusing on in the latter half of the year. So it comes out this fall, and then I'm sure we'll talk about it when it comes out. So yeah, I just wanted to I don't know if you care for it at all, John, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, cool, great, don't care. Fuck Colleen Hoover. Anyway, now
the real Star Trek Into Darkness with Diaries. Yes.
But Simpsons Movie 2 to receive $22 million as California starts funding the animation. That's cool. Yay. I mean, I'm excited for that. Is it going to be as great as the first one? Probably not. Like, with how the show has been so painfully mediocre for the past, like, decade and a half. Like, I can't imagine it'll be that great, but I'm still going to go see it. I have so many fond memories of watching the original, so I'll give it a watch.
Yeah. I still love the intro with like the custom logo with like the anyway.
Yeah.
How the 20th Century Studios logo anyway. I mean, Disney owns Simpsons now. It's like that's been how long.
Although,
how much time has
going
passed
back
by
to
since
Anne
the first
Hathaway, we have Devil Wears Prada 2. Apparently, there's an Asian character that sparked backlash in Asia. What made them think we'll find this kind of racism funny? So apparently, social media users in Japan, South Korea, China, Hong Kong, and elsewhere have reacted angrily to the character of Jin Chao, suggesting she plays into stereotypes about Asians. Hoo boy, ain't that interesting?
Yeah, it's
not in a good way.
There's a lot more nuance to this. I recommend you guys read the full article. It's in the Hollywood Reporter. You have the headline here. But it looks like there's been a lot of anger, at least on social media, around that particular character in the movie. Some racial stereotypes, and I mean, there were some folks that came out in defense of this, including another director who's like an Asian American director who talked about like, that's not, you guys are completely misunderstanding what they're going for here. But there was the story about Anne Hathaway apparently really wanted to bring in this character into the movie. So was she really just virtue signaling? Like, I don't know. There's a lot more to
okay,
this.
here's the thing. What I find so fucking funny about all this, I'm gonna go into a little bit of a tangent here. What I find so funny is you see all this shit, you see all these white people fucking virtue signaling the same dog shit over and over again. Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna take away this. It's like, let's talk easy thing. Taking away fucking people of color mascots, like Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben, Land O'Lakes, and God knows how many other, and the Washington Redskins becoming the Washington Commanders. Like, you have all this shit, like, oh, the white people are offended by this. Meanwhile, all the black people and Native Americans are like, we weren't offended by this. Why would you take this away? And then you have actual Asian people from Asian countries who are offended by this character, and then you have all the same fucking dumbass people who, like, constantly are like, oh, all these things in America are racist, or like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. This isn't offensive. Just shut the fuck up and take our product type shit. So it's just like, okay, so when the white people, American people are offended, that's when it matters. But when the people actually from those countries are offended, you're like, oh, their opinion doesn't matter. I just feel that that's a little suspicious. It's a little suspicious, don't you think?
No, I'm just gonna say I read the whole article. There's more nuance to this.
I'm sure there is. It's just like, I find that to be interesting is all.
No, it is. You're making a
and it's
great
it's
point.
Just
yeah,
an interesting sort of thing where it's just like, because if you, like, I remember there was this funny video that came out where it was like when it was announced that, like, oh, we're gonna finally change the Washington Redskins mascot, talking to all these Native Americans, and most of them are like, either I don't give a fuck, or I'm like, oh, I'm honored by the fact that, like, we were like part of this like American culture tradition of football, and then that was taken away. So, I just find it to be just kind of like morbidly hilarious, where it's like,
by the way,
you try so hard to virtue signal, it fails. The people in these countries are offended, and then their opinion doesn't matter because you think you're being like inclusive and all that shit. It just,
I don't think it's like fair anytime when you tell somebody that you shouldn't feel offended by this. I mean, like, if you're offended, you're offended. Like, it's that you don't tell somebody how to feel. And something could be offensive to one person and not to the other, and you could both be from the same background, but it's obviously cause a bit of an uproar. So we'll see how it affects the movie as it comes out. So yeah. Speaking of
things that are offensive, Michael Bay and his career. So apparently Michael Bay coming back to this franchise puts the G.I. Joe crossover on hold, reveals the director of Rise of the Beast. So it's just like, oh, so we're delaying dog shit to get other form of dog shit. Okay, cool. Great.
Well, I mean, look, honestly, I was like, here's the thing, that I will always say this, the Transformers never looked better than when Michael Bay did Transformers. You can hate them for the quality of the storytelling, but those Transformers movies were some of the best VFX, some of the best CGI characters and shit, like that you have some of the best sounding Transformers, looking Transformers, and there was still a commitment to, like, actual live action plate photography and, you know, ton of gunpowder explosions in camera. That level of scale, like, you Rise of the Beast looked dog shit compared to those other Michael Bay movies. You go back to it now, it stands up. So I'm actually kind of glad that they're putting that, the, you know, Rise of the Beast situation on hold, because I'd rather have a Michael Bay return to Transformers.
So you rather have style over substance rather than substance over style.
You know, style over substance. Like I think the last one, the Last Night, was the worst example of a Michael Bay movie. I feel like I enjoyed Age of Extinction for all the cheese that it had. Dark of the Moon was fun. Those movies were never meant to be like, you know, oh my god, this is like goated level of like storytelling. But they worked well. Like I'm just gonna say it. I mean, they were $2 billion movies. No Transformer movie, not every single they put out 3 of them. They Bumblebee, Rise of the Beast, and that animated Transformers 1 movie. None of them combined made even as much as, you know, the last Transformers movie that Michael Bay put out. So it just goes to show you, like, they've kind of fallen off the cliff. And I've seen like younger audience, like Gen Zers, rediscover or discover for the first time, and they're like, oh my god, these things, like, they look good. Like, I mean, like, they're not the best movies, but like they look good, and I'd rather like it look good. I don't know. I personally enjoy Michael Bay's Bayhem version of Transformers. I still would like to see a G.I. Joe crossover. Definitely would love to see that happen. But, you know, if I had to make some choices, I would pick Michael Bay over the other iterations so far. But then again, by the way, I don't think he's meant to be directing these movies. He might produce them. He's not confirmed that he would be directing. He's got somebody writing the script, so it's still a lot of it is up in the air. But they might actually do a couple of different ones. You know, the overly sexualized, you know, female characters and the stereotypical caricaturization of some of the Transformers. Yes, I'm not saying those movies were perfect. I'm just saying they were fun, stupid popcorn films, and they made a shit ton of money. So maybe the world we live in today has moved past that era of Transformers, but I mean, certainly what they've been doing with the last 3 movies has not been profitable enough for them to continue in that direction. Or at least they're thinking about it twice. So, you know, yeah. I would like to see a Transformers 1 sequel too. I just don't know how soon we're going to get that, because that first one really deserved a lot better than it got. So anyway, speaking of getting a lot better than it got, John, let's talk about the quick hits. So now we get to the real quick hits.
Yes. Oh, God. So, Paramount request for FCC funding notes it will be 49.5% foreign-owned after WB demerger. You're really on the cusp, motherfucker. You're really on the cusp of, like, a fucking foreign entity owning your shit because you couldn't fork up enough money for this crap.
It's basically like all the way up until the threshold where you're like not 50-50, it's technically still majority US owned. So it kind of avoids that like threshold for like a certain kind of regulatory approval that it wouldn't.
But yes, please tell me more about how Crybaby Ellison is going to save WB. Fuck out of here. God, this is such dog shit.
The majority of this foreign backing comes from the 3 Middle Eastern funds, including the majority of that actually comes from Saudi Arabia. Then Qatar and then Abu Dhabi have a smaller percentage. So they did throw like 30 some odd $billion at this. They look, to the credit of Paramount, they've said that that ownership doesn't come with voting rights and, you know,
yeah, that's what they say. That's what they fucking say. But like,
I know but also this FCC filing, I think I said SCC earlier. This FCC filing doesn't impact the rest of the regulatory process. This is more of a routine submission of. It is concerning though that 49, like literally almost about as much as far as you can get without actually saying half of your company is going to be owned by, you know, foreign backers. So, which actually might even include Tencent a little bit, you know, which is a Chinese company, not still majority Middle Eastern funds, but a little bit of Tencent. So
anyway,
I mean, it's technically legal, but
yeah, it's like the technically part. That's the interesting. Yeah. But Hollywood petitioned to block Paramount Warner Brothers merger tops 4,000 names, which clearly did fucking nothing because they voted on it and said it was okay. So this literally did fucking nothing.
4,000 names. I mean, Robert De Niro, Sofia Coppola, Holly Hunter. They all. I mean, remember they started at 1,000, went up to 2,000. We talked about 3,000. Now it's over 4,000 names. I don't think I've seen like a public thing like this, even against like Fox and Disney when that was happening. So. This is definitely interesting. Yeah.
And then Paramount take over Warner Brothers because he gets green light from shareholders, but they reject David Zaslav's pay package. Oh no, the least problematic part of this whole thing is that David Zaslav doesn't get money. Oh no, anyway, it's just like...
Well, no. Okay, so remember, we talked about this last week. We didn't get to a show on Thursday and Friday. So Paramount's shareholders have approved the merger. Not Paramount, Warner Brothers Discovery's shareholders have approved the merger. So now it's a go from the shareholder side. But the vote to reject David Zaslav's pay package is purely like cosmetic. Like it actually has no real impact on whether he gets that pay package.
No, I know.
It's just a vote of no. They did this last year. The package that David Zaslav was going to get, they voted it down. But, you know, he still got paid because the board gets to make that decision. It's just symbolically saying that we don't appreciate that he's going to get that much money out of this deal. But, I mean, they also approved the deal. So, all those shareholders are going to get paid, you know. So, it is what it is. But, yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway. iHeartMedia shares jump after report of early merger talks with SiriusXM. Okay.
So iHeartMedia
everybody's merging. Everyone's become some monopoly. Yeah. Soon we're gonna all be owned by Google and Apple, and then that's it.
To be fair, John, SiriusXM is 10 times the size of a company in terms of their valuation than iHeartMedia. But SiriusXM is the biggest satellite radio provider, and iHeartMedia is the biggest terrestrial radio provider. So they'll be merging between the two of them. So yeah, I mean, this is still early going, but yeah, we'll see. So we shall see.
But yeah. Toy Story 5 breaks long-running franchise record with an unexpected rating from the MPA. Apparently, it's been rated a PG. Oh no. After all previous installments rated G. Which is, like, funny as fuck. Because it's like, okay, Toy's about to be incinerated in a furnace. G rating. What the fuck is in this movie that's gonna give it a goddamn PG rating? The fuck? What the hell? I can't imagine. And like, the only thing is just like, like all the toys getting nuked. Like that's the only thing I could see. But yeah, this is fucking crazy. But whatever.
Is it the
Brendan
PG-13
Fraser and
rating? John, is it the PG-13 rating or the PG rating where you get one F-bomb?
It's PG. It's PG. It's just PG.
No, but isn't it like, you know, in the PG-13?
It's PG-13 gets the one F-bomb. Because apparently, like, the original cut of Toy Story 5 did get PG-13, so they had to cut it down, and then it got a PG rating. And I'm like, what the fuck is in this movie, bro? Like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
But yeah, now we move on. The Mummy 4 moves to 2027 as Miami Vice 85 bumps. I see what you did there. Bumps to 2028. Not what I was talking about anyway. But yeah, so we're gonna have to just wait a year for the Mummy, and I'm willing to fucking bet you, you know, with Lee Cronin's The Mummy, everybody hating that, everyone's gonna fucking suck the fucking dong of The Mummy 4, even though it's probably gonna be dog shit, because looks what happened with the other sequel that the radio silence duo came in and fucking did. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for when they Scream 5-anize the fucking Mummy franchise. And it's not even that good of a franchise to begin with, so it's just like, great. Okay, so we're gonna get another dog shit entry in another IP franchise, just like Scream 5 and 6. Woohoo!
I mean, look, I'm looking... So... I know Liz is going to be excited. We got a new Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser coming out next year. And then Miami Vice 85 comes out in 2028. Fair enough, you know?
Yeah, I'll say, I mean, I'm excited for Miami Vice because Joseph Kosinski, Austin Butler, Michael B. Hell yeah. Mummy.
Hell yeah.
Can kind of fuck off. I don't really care. If Stephen Summers was coming back, I'd be like, okay, let's see.
Words, John.
But it's radio silence. Here's the thing about radio silence. When they do original movies, it's good, like Ready or Not, or, you know, or Abigail. I didn't love it as much as everyone else did, but I thought it was pretty good. Like, when they do their own shit, when they do original movies, good. IP, fuck out of here. Fuck Scream 5. I don't know, I haven't seen it, but fuck Scream 6 too. Fuck your mama. Fuck your brother. I don't give a fuck. Fuck all your shit. I'm out. No. Fuck your IP-based crap, radio silence. Anyway,
let's keep
but
them
we
going.
have a better alternate if you don't want to see the Call of Duty movie after Peter Berg apparently said, like, oh yeah, fuck people who play video games, but meanwhile I'm gonna be adapting a video game. You know, because he's a fucking like pro-military fucking sack of shit. So fuck Peter Berg. Like you said no to Spielberg for that. I hope you're happy, Paramount. Anyway, so Christopher McQuarrie, aka an actually good filmmaker, and Michael B. Jordan, aka an actually good star, to tackle adaptation of like I love how like if I had a nickel for every time Battlefield fucked over Call of Duty, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happens. Which kind of sucks because Battlefield 6 ended up eating its own ass because now Battlefield 6 is just like Call of Duty. But they did win for a little bit. They did win for a little bit, but then they, you know, became the very thing they swore to destroy. But then everyone started playing Escape from Tarkov,
but
so
I mean,
it didn't matter.
Dude, Christopher McQuarrie directing Michael B. Jordan. This is big.
This sounds like cinema. Like I'll take
you know
this.
What this is? By the way, this isn't currently attached to a studio, but like they're pitching this, so somebody's gonna get this. So who knows who's gonna end up with this ultimately, but somebody will.
Yeah, this sounds good. I'll take it. Yeah. Michael B. fucking getting 2 adaptations, going Miami Vice and Battlefield.
And he's got the Thomas Crown Affair coming out this year. Like so,
he has an Academy Award. Was in an Academy-winning movie. He's big star, 2 adaptations, probably has a big dick. I don't fucking know, but like Michael B. Jordan's winning at life. He is winning at life. So good for him. Good for him. I hope I hope both sides of his pillow are cold because he deserves it. He's busy, but he's getting it. He's like, I'm not gonna fall into the fucking post Academy Award curse. I'm doing all this shit, bro. And you know what? Good for him. Because I know how bad, because we've talked about it on the show, how bad that pit can be for Academy Award winners. So, like,
Ke-Huy Quan had a couple of misses after he won his. Michelle Yeoh as well. I mean, Section 31. Also, who won for Nora last year? Was it
Mikey Madison?
She's only just got her first movie since the Oscars coming out soon this year. So
but hey, she was being picky, so you know what? That's good. So she wasn't going to be part of anything and everything. So she's doing a little bit carefully, but it's clear that Michael B. Jordan is taking like a more like substantial, like, he has the clout to be like, no, I have an Academy Award, I'm going to deny this salary, and they're like, okay, fine, we'll pay you more, and they did, and you know what? Him and Austin Butler are going to be in fucking Miami Vice together. Maybe finally Austin Butler will get his Oscar. We'll see.
Yep. James Gunn wants to make a JLI movie. Well, I mean, he's talked about that before. James Gunn wanting to do a JLI watcher. I think that's not a secret at this point. It's just a matter of like, it's more when than a why or if kind of a thing. So, anyway, let's keep going. More quick hits to come.
Yes. But next up, Jason Statham and David Ayer reteaming on Zach Penn's scripted action for John Doe. Miramax and Black Bear launched for Cannes market, but it's like, who the fuck are you? Bro, if I don't even know anymore, I guess call me John Doe. It's just like,
I'm just John Doe. Because all of his trailers now end with like, who the hell are you? And they're just like, cut. And it's like, you see, we go to the movie to watch, him give the answer. He's like,
this motherfucker always has a job. He sounds like a poop job. Yeah, we know, Jason. That's the title of the movie.
I told you
I'm to beekeeper. Yeah, Jason, motherfucker, we know.
I actually do want to see like the librarian with Jason Statham now. Like I like that.
No, I want to see. No, I can't wait for Jason Statham Stole My Bike. That sounds like the fucking worst, greatest movie of all time. I didn't think that was real, and then I looked it up. It's like, no, that's fucking happening.
Did you read the description of the trailer they showed for The Beekeeper 2 at CinemaCon?
No, I didn't.
Like it's the most like jump the shark in the sequel shit ever, and it's like it starts out.
What is there a giant bee he rides in the movie or something?
No, but he has bee bombs that are literally like he throws them, they explode, and a bunch of honeybees come out. And so like, it's like the Green Goblin, except like, bee bombs, and it's like, and then he's basically a superhero. And there's like there's a dude in a Cybertruck at the beginning that we see him beat up, and it's just, I was like, you know what? Just go. You know you're gonna get me. Like it's so stupid, but I can't
so
wait.
fucking stupid.
I mean, and David Ayer is like directing that too, so like him and Jason Statham just got a thing going on now. So.
But next up, Universal dates rom-com The Catch for May 2027 as Emma Stone and Chris Pine officially closed deals to star. That's cool. Don't really care. Probably not going to watch it, but good for them.
The Catch. I mean, Chris Pine and Emma Stone. I guess there are both the catches. Oh, what else? Jason Statham stole my life.
But Sony taps Brian Helgeland, award-winning writer of LA Confidential, to script Django/Zorro film from Quentin Tarantino Matt Wagner comic. Even though it's going to be an original story, it's not going to be the story from the comic. It's going to be original, right. Just like inspired by that. So,
I mean, but this is pretty sick. This is interesting. I want to see Zorro cross paths with Django.
Yeah, it sounds fucking. And then if they get Antonio
awesome.
Banderas back, he can do it. That would be fucking awesome.
I mean, then you got to bring Catherine Zeta-Jones back. Like, not. Then while you're at it, let's bring Kerry Washington back too. We'll just check all the boxes.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Somehow bring fucking Leo back, even though that doesn't make sense.
I know. It's just, yeah. Does he hate comic books?
Well, he wrote one with Matt Wagner, so.
Yeah. The Watcher loved the comics, so I guess, yeah. R-rated Zorro movie then, yeah, probably. Hey John, aren't you a fan of Ratatouille?
French chef Bernard Luceux, an inspiration for Ratatouille to get biopic treatment. French director Thomas Lilty is working with the family of the late chef on a drama inspired by the life and legacy of Le Couture owner. So, Le Couture.
Bernard Luceux, yeah. Hamburger. Sorry, no, I just got to default back to Clouseau. But yeah, more biopics. Hey, see the Michael effect. I don't know, or the biopic effect, whatever. The Oppenheimer effect. It's whatever.
I don't know. But next up, Enola Holmes 3 sets July release date on Netflix. Drops first look photos of Millie Bobby Brown and Louis Partridge's big wedding. Whoops, don't care. Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker reportedly hold out for bigger rush hour paydays because they were both offered $8 million to come back, even though they were paid $20 million on the last one. So it's like, of course they want fucking more money. Like, seriously,
but by the way, the other thing they mentioned but the budget for this is meant to be like 100 to 115 million. And the majority of that money is meant to be coming from like Middle East, I think Saudi Arabian backing. And so there's some concern right now that with everything going on in the Middle East, that financial backing may no longer be there because they've got, more important things to spend their money on right now, rebuilding and whatnot. So this whole movie's in a bit of a limbo right now, Rush Hour 4, because even though Paramount wants to make it happen, if you can't, 8 to 20 million is a pretty big gap. Like, they're pretty far apart on this. So yeah. There's a photo in here of like them in recent times. Like you get to see Jackie. Yeah, there you go, with Chris Tucker. The filming has apparently been delayed now, and they won't start filming until the earliest being September of this year. So we'll see. The financing hasn't been locked in yet. Yeah, 115 million sounds about right for him. I don't know what they would do in this. Like Fiona was like, "What do you expect?
Rush Hour 4 to be fucking $300 million? 115 sounds like a good amount of money."
I was like, "This is like what are they're not gonna have a shit ton of VFX? I don't think they're de-aging these guys, so it is what it is. We'll see. I would go see it whenever it does come out, but because I'm a big Rush Hour fan, but we'll see.
Writers Guild ratifies 4-year contract deal with studios. More than 90% of the union's writers across country voted to support the deal, which infuses $320 million into the labor group's ailing health plan.
So this was already approved, that now the guild voted on it to ratify it. The key was, though, only around 4,700 members voted, which is around half of the 9,000 that voted 3 years ago. And they have a total of 11,000 members, so less than half of their membership actually voted. And they voted to approve it, but still, there's a lot of writers who are like, we have to make these hard compromises. It is what it is. So yeah, we'll see. But all things considered, their insurance plans got a big bump, and so good on the writers. The actors, the SAG-AFTRA negotiations start up in a few. I think this week actually with the studios. They're up next, and then the DGA and there'll be other unions that will be doing that this year too. So yeah.
But next up, Jez Butterworth inks 5-year exclusive deal with Universal Entertainment. Good for him.
So
Yay.
no, hold on. This is significant. Remember, Taylor Sheridan just went from Paramount to Universal. Jez Butterworth was at Paramount. If you scroll down, there's a couple of significant things that he has worked on. He worked on The Agency, which is the Paramount Plus Showtime show, with Michael Fassbender and Richard Gere and everything. It's got Jeffrey Wright in it. Also, he's the guy behind Mobland with Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, and Tom Hardy. Those two shows, the guy who runs those shows is now also going to Universal, and the deal will kick in January of 2027. So, on continues the trend of NBC Universal just ripping some talent away from Paramount, while Paramount is signing other people. Taylor Sheridan and Jez Butterworth, who've created some of their biggest hits on streaming, are going over to NBC Universal. So there you go. I mean, they are bleeding talent a little bit here. Yeah. Anyway.
Cool.
I thought this is the next one you might be interested in, John.
What's next for Letterboxd? I have no idea because...
So, just go to the first paragraph. Apparently, Letterboxd main shareholder, Tiny Media Holdings or something like that, they are currently looking to basically sell off their stake in the business. So Letterboxd could have a new owner. They've had talks with the Versant, which is the company that got spun off of Comcast. They own CNBC, MS Now, Rotten Tomatoes, the Golf Network, and all those things. They also have talked to the New Hollywood startup, The Ankler. You remember we had some newsletters we have showcased sometimes talking about the weekend box office on Substack. That's from The Ankler. So between The Ankler and Versant, they've had some conversations. Nothing really has stuck yet, but it does look like Letterboxd's owners might be.
Oh, cool! I can't wait for Letterboxd to become shitty now. That's great.
On the other side of it, they do say that the one of the co-founders of Letterboxd, he's got like a veto on any kind of sale, so that's meant to be a bit of a check on everything. So yeah, we'll have to just wait and see if this actually ends up happening or not. But it does look like they're trying to get out of this business. Like the current majority owners have only been there for a few years. They bought into Letterboxd like a few years ago, and it's a Canadian company. I mean, Letterboxd is news, Kiwi company. They're from New Zealand originally, but the current owners or the majority owners are Canadian. So yeah. Anyway.
Anywho,
you should read this
hopefully,
later.
Hopefully it doesn't suck.
By this, yeah.
But speaking of not sucking, Project Hail Mary, still glazing, still here.
The power
still
of friendship,
theaters.
John. The power of friendship.
Maybe the Project Hail Mary was the friends we made along the way.
Yes, because this movie was still number 3 at the box office. Now, like 6 weeks into its release, it's crazy. I love the fact that it's still playing in IMAX, depending on where you are, certain times of day, and yeah, Grace and Rocky saved stars. Wonderful, amaze, John, amaze. So, love to see it. I want to go see it again. But that's all the quickest we got. So, there we go. The Watchers just cracked open La Croix, which you're all drinking. I am drinking some Gatorade.
I might crack open a Dr. Pepper. I'm interested.
How do you crack open a Dr. Never mind. I'm not gonna. Oh, I see.
Yeah, just
is that
crack
the
open,
word you would
as
use?
in like
Anyway.
crack open the can?
Crack open. Crack open the.
You crack it
You're
open.
like the Sandman. Like you would do one of these. Like is this what you would be doing? Crack open. Sorry, and then
you crack that. You crack it open. Like that's
what you. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it just sounds weird to me.
What do you think?
You pop open?
That's what you do. You crack open a can.
Do you crack open a can? I don't
that's
know.
the fucking whole euphemism.
That's the word. That's the euphemism.
Yeah,
I didn't know
you
that.
crack open a can. I'm surprised you haven't heard of that before.
It just sounds weird right now. I don't know. You know what?
Where's your mind at?
the news part of the show is done. We're gonna move on to DCU Daily before this gets any weirder, which it probably will.
Oh God, that's so good.
Caffeine-free Diet Coke.
Dr. Pepper, if you want to sponsor us, please, I will. I will do anything for a doc. I would offer my firstborn child for a lifetime supply of Dr. Pepper. Children are
It's another
temporary.
project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
All right, welcome on into another episode of DCU Daily. As Enterprising would say, victory mine. DCU keep hope alive. Here we go. Let's get into it. I'm of course your host. There's my name, Daniel. Is it? No, there we go. And we're gonna get into some DC talk. We got a lot of James Gunn talk today because like the man decided he got a day off from shooting Man of Tomorrow, so he decided to just go off, King. And yes, Jalen, welcome on into the show. With me today, of course, I've got John. We got some Supergirl talk. We got some Clayface talk. We got some Lantern. We might have some Green. Everybody, John, what are you most excited to talk about?
I don't know. I think there's just so much, and like it's all just. I don't know. Like, just looking at it, I was just, I mean, anything Clayface, because that's the one major thing of DC in 2026 that I'm excited for. So I'm just like, oh, yes, good food. But, it's good to talk about Supergirl. I'm curious about Lanterns. Like, again, I want to keep it. Like, I know I've, like, shit-talked a lot of them, but, like, at the end of the day, I'm still want to leave an open mind. I still want to like these things. It's just, Tom King, he just continues to exist, unfortunately. I have to say that that's a joke. So... it's just like I want to be excited, but I'm not. But like, we'll be okay. We'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. Well,
but let's get into the Parrots, Ducks, Pelicans of DCU news because we have some quick hits. A lot of quick hits today. 3 different types of quick hits, guys. You're in for a good treat. Tom, if Tom King is my soulmate, then I don't want to keep living anymore. He's eating a cookie.
I'm eating a cookie.
It looks like, is it Chips Ahoy?
Mm-mm. Some kind of gourmet cookie.
Ooh, that's nice, because Chips Ahoy kind of sucks. I said it. But first things first, it doesn't suck. Man of Tomorrow is casting actors to portray the biracial family of a main character, seeking a mother figure and 2 children who can authentically represent a loving family dynamic. So this is interesting, and I'm curious because I'm thinking of all the characters.
Family.
Because like in terms of diverse characters, you have Jon Stewart, you have Hawkgirl, you have Mr. Terrific. You have, maybe, I don't know. We'll see, but like, I don't know. There's a lot of ideas when it comes to that, so I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's Audrey Arjona's Wonder Woman, or
Maxima.
Maxima. Do you think she's gonna like bring Superman to meet her parents?
That would be funny.
If that's the trick. Hawkgirl probably makes the most sense, actually, if you think about it. But then again, it depends. I mean, does her story kind of align with that? Like, would her parents be around?
Maybe Jon Stewart meets her parents. Because I mean, that was the whole thing in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited was Jon Stewart and Hawkgirl. So.
I mean, and we already cast.
Like when everybody was joking about, like, oh, we want to see Jon Stewart Man of Tomorrow, and Jon Stewart showing up in Man of Tomorrow. And with that, you know, Hawkgirl is going to be in that, and you know, maybe Vixen eventually shows up.
I think it was Isabella Merced said she would love to explore that storyline, and also
I think the both of them talked about it too.
Yeah, but like Aaron Pierre's like Jon Stewart, we already know they cast his parents for Lantern,
right.
So that's already done. So it can't be him.
Right.
I mean, you guys are saying Hawkgirl, so I mean that seems like the most likely.
Yeah, and plus, you know, well, I mean, there's the whole thing. It's like she's Hispanic, and Hispanic culture is very, you know, in tune with their family. So that's definitely, I feel like that makes sense. How that will work in the story, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, interesting.
I don't have friends. I got family.
I mean, you know, point taken, Dom.
But next up, Man of Tomorrow's first set photo has a brilliant Superman Easter egg. 99% of fans missed. True. So essentially, James Gunn confirming that the Easter egg to, you know, that comic where, you know, Lex Luthor and Clark are playing chess together. Yeah, I don't think 99% of fans miss it. Like literally every comment I saw, I'm like, oh yeah, like from the comics. So I would say like
but John,
half of them got
this
it.
Also, the positions of the pieces on the board are the same as when I think it was like the first time a supercomputer beat a human at chess. This was the positioning of the pieces. So it's like a nice call. I that's what I thought this was about. So that's kind of cool. Anyway.
Yeah. Very
cool. It's to do with the arrangement of the pieces on the board. It's like a nerdy Easter egg. It's not really. I didn't think it was a comic book related thing, but yeah.
But we have Asia Arjona shares workout video, but does it reveal her DCU role? Probably not. But you know, here she is.
She's getting ripped.
Pumping iron.
Iron. Oh, yeah.
You know, nothing.
She's looking good while doing it too.
I mean, that's a given.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, because I know everybody's heating up over here looking at Aja Arjona getting ripped. Yeah. Hot damn. Exactly, Jalen. Hot damn. Baby got back. Baby got... I mean, is she Maxima? Is she Wonder Woman? I don't know. I mean, it definitely doesn't reveal anything other than the fact that, you know, she's got some... She's got... What are they called? Traps? What is that? What are the muscles back there? Somebody let me know. Hey, Tony. How you doing, man? Anyway, John. Have you kind of settled on what character she's playing? Is it Wonder Woman, do you think? Or is it Maxima?
I think it's probably Maxima. I think she'd do a good job with that, so...
Eric's like, did she have a sword and a shield when she was working out? Yeah, I mean, that would be obvious. That would be too obvious. We can't give all that away.
But yeah, so apparently, according to this article, it says Man of Tomorrow production at Atlanta prison causes unrest among unhappy prisoners, which literally someone like 2 seconds later, it's like, no, they're not. Shut up. Stop spreading disinformation. You fucking losers.
It made no sense
because again, this is coming from TMZ, the fucking kings of bullshit and clickbait, the OG like Jeff Snyder and Grace Randolph of the world. You know, Man of Tomorrow shooters allegedly messing up their routines and more importantly access inside of the joint. Basically, while the flick is in production, we're told prisoners have to remain in their cells way more than under normal circumstances. Even worse, no access to the commissary.
Oh boy.
And you know, all that shit. So yeah, but somebody so what this doesn't show is there was somebody else. I'll try to find the tweet, but somebody was essentially like, yeah, this is bullshit. This is 100% because a mother
they reached out to the prison, like,
well, and they didn't comment on it, but the mother of a son who is in that prison told her that's like, yeah, that's 100% dog shit. It's like they enjoy the production having there. They're still free to walk around as normal. It's totally fine. And this is 100% dog shit on TMZ's reporting. Yeah. So and don't believe this.
They're not even. They're apparently using up a very small area of the. I mean, a huge prison. Like, it's complex. It's not even like they're not like filming across the whole thing and some big ass thing. So, yeah. I just thought the headline was kind of funny. Unhappy prisoners. I'm like water wet, you know? Like I get it. I get what they were getting at, but yeah, not true. So
this is 100% not true. I forget who posted that, but yeah, I think you could probably find it on like Daily Kryptonian or something like that. But yeah, they essentially, someone who has actual intel was like, yeah, this is 100% bullshit. So
yeah, I mean, and again, it's not even true. So like, I would feel bad for the prisoners if all of a sudden a lot of their resources were not available to them, because I mean, prisoners still have rights, but it's just not true at all. I wouldn't think James Gunn would want to do that. So
yeah, it would make absolutely like no fucking sense. But yeah, next up, Justice League director Zack Snyder revealed his and Jason Momoa's original Aquaman movie. So apparently, so this concept was developed by me and Jason Momoa before the films were made to honor his Pacific Islander roots. When Arthur's father is killed by Black Manta's father at the end of the first act, Arthur takes his ashes back to his people in the Pacific Islands for a ritual of cremation. During that grieving ceremony, he receives the tattoos to honor his father's memory. Volko, tasked by his mother to watch over him, provides the Samoan tattoo artist with a special Atlantean needle that can pierce Arthur's dense skin. The tattoos become a permanent inscription of that loss and identity, bridging the Pacific Islander heritage with his Atlantean lineage, and this loss also creates the blood feud between Arthur and Black Manta that drives the larger conflict. So while that is kind of a neat idea, I'm kind of glad they didn't go in this direction. It just feels like it would have been so different from, you know, what we got. So I don't know.
I remember this. So the thing was, this was a response to somebody who was kind of making fun of like one of those like back DCEU things, and I mean, Zack Snyder kind of like leaving this big ass comment on that post to this like rage bait Instagram account. I mean, I was like, you shouldn't like give that kind of a account any more air. But I do remember hearing, this is not the first time I've heard about this. Remember when James Wan took over for Aquaman, and Warner Brothers were like, we're just like gonna try to pretend that Zack Snyder stuff doesn't exist, those movies. So whatever you want to do with the Aquaman character, and that's why the aesthetic of those movies looks completely different from anything that the Lanteans look like, including Aquaman and Volko and Mira in like Justice League. Because famously, Aquaman's dad was not going to be alive, and Volko was going to be the only father figure. So it was a much darker story, and so Zack Snyder, again, kind of going into like that origin story, which it's kind of weird because like if those tattoos were informed by that, they kept the tattoos, but they changed the fact that his dad was alive, you know? I mean, and I liked Tamira Morrison at playing his dad. It was fun. But
I think Wan is a good director. Not a great one, but I like a lot of his movies.
Didn't he direct like the best Fast
and
and Furious movie? He directed Furious 7. Come on.
I liked Malignant. That's probably his best movie to me.
I would have liked to see his Trench movie, you know? Maybe he can do it now, because now it's all going to be under one house again with Paramount and Warner Brothers. Or no, he's at Blumhouse. That's Universal. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. You know, what could have been, but wasn't. So.
Oh well. But here is a photo of ya boy, the man who's no longer Superman.
I mean, not gonna lie, this still goes pretty hard. Like, okay. I'm not like a that's my Superman, but I mean, it's a pretty cool
but
photo.
Zack Snyder just dropped this, and yeah, it looks cool. Good for him. Anyway, but then somebody also did this fan
it's not bad.
Photoshop of, or maybe AI, I don't know what the fuck it is. It's probably AI. Of her as Zatanna, which I think could be pretty cool. I don't think it would be like the greatest. I think there would be other characters I think she would be better as, but I wouldn't complain. And plus she's busy with Marvel now, so this is probably unlikely, but you know.
Hi, Chimera. Look, it just was a very different movie, though. Ultimately, it went in a very different direction visually. Aquaman. I will say didn't we cast fan cast Ana de Armas as Zatanna? So
maybe.
I remember that was part of our fan cast Friday episode, but I mean, Haley Steinfeld would be great. It's just, I mean, I don't know how. Well, she's currently probably on like maternity leave of some sort, right? Because she's had a, so it wouldn't be for a while, even if it were to happen. But I could see it. You know, it's not bad. Photoshop or AI, however this image was generated. So.
And then we get to it's apparently it's Penguin Day, guys. So
they put a literal penguin next to it.
Happy Penguin Day, guys.
Happy Penguin. It was over the weekend. It was World Penguin Day. Yeah. I guess it's just me and you now, Vic. It's fuck, Vic. Vic did not deserve it. Fuck the penguin. I'll stick with that.
But yeah, funny as hell. And then apparently it was yesterday, Tom Welling's 49th birthday. Doesn't that make you feel old? He just played a high schooler fucking 20 years ago, and look where we're at now. Crazy.
I mean, you're talking like that show went off the air like 15 years ago, right?
Well, I mean 20 was like season 4 or 5, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was like 27 when he was playing a high schooler, so.
Yeah. I mean, look, honestly, the guy could, if he was super, like, he was bigger than Tyler Hoechlin. He was, I feel like in stature, he might even be like bigger than Henry Cavill. Like, he's got the body
he's
for
fucking
Superman.
huge, bro.
He's huge, yeah. So, I don't know, Tom, maybe if they were to bring him back in some kind of crossover again, and actually give him the Superman costume, that would be nice. Yeah, cool. Happy birthday.
But yeah, new officially licensed poster for James Gunn's Superman created by Cakes Comics on X. So yeah, look how cool that looks.
This looks nice. I like it. I like the symmetry of it too. You got the city breaking apart, and you got that bridge arc thing in the middle for Metropolis. Daily Planet on the left. Pocket Universe bumping into Metropolis. Superman. I like the logo. It's got like the title treatment from the movie itself with like the diamond thing. It looks super. I would love to get this if I can get like a print version of this. I think that's the idea here. So nice. All right. That's all we got for quick hits. I'm gonna put a stop to that music. All right, now we're done with that. John, I wish we had an intro for this segment, but what did the Gunn say? Ring.
You'll probably get demonetized for that by copyrighted content.
Maybe but there's ways to get around that.
But happy birthday to Peacemaker 4 days ago, but very belated. But John Cena.
Yes.
It's crazy that they took a picture of an empty chair though. That's crazy.
I know. I was like who's he wishing happy birthday to? It's kind of weird. Are they just pretending to talk to somebody?
It's just like it's a light, or like maybe they were gonna like mocap him later. Yeah. I don't know.
I think so. It's like I almost see a floating helmet there. It's like a toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Just upside down.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. Happy birthday, John Cena.
Happy birthday to John
Belated
Cena.
Birthday.
Except we can't see the 18-time world champion there. So.
But James Gunn, even though this was pretty well known, we've talked about this a bunch of times, that Matt Reeves is like in control of like the Batman side of things. He's producing all the Batman stuff for DC.
Yeah.
Not just the Batman, but like Clayface, Dynamic Duo, Cape Crusader, in addition to his own Batman movie. So he's the Batman guy. So
he's the Batman guy. Yeah. That's a great way of putting it. Yes. He's producing Matt Reeves is producing Dynamic Duo Clayface. So yeah, I mean Matt Reeves is like James Gunn's Batman guy. The Bat Czar. That's a great title actually. Bat Czar. That could be a villain to Batman. That could be part of a rogues gallery. Yepers. Yep.
But James Gunn has also confirmed that Paradise Lost is in extreme development.
Extreme development.
Extreme, bro.
It just just like reminds me of one of those like ads for like back
in the 90s.
Like, extreme. Yeah, it's what did he say? He said Booster Gold in development and Paradise Lost in extreme development. Like it's like that's what extreme. Yeah, or like remember in Stargate they had like a parody in universe parody. It was like Wormhole 2000 or something. It was like this. Wormhole Extreme. It's great. I don't know what the hell extreme development means. Do we need to create a new scale of development from like Dead to Lost?
From like Blade to Paradise Lost, like Dead to Paradise to Extreme.
It's so extreme. It's like it's extreme develop. What I it's this is so stupid, but like whatever, James. You said it, not us. They're in development so hard right now.
Next, God, gross lanterns. But lanterns poster reveals only one can wear the ring, so that fucking means that Hal is 100% dead after this.
Biting the dust. Yep. Poor Hal. I mean, at the very least, he's not gonna have the ring. He's gonna be firmly not.
Oh yeah, he's gonna retire to Key West. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
But it does have green, guys.
Yeah,
it
didn't
does
it
have.
give you like
See,
some
look,
Highlander
green,
vibes? Like,
very dark green, but green nonetheless.
I was like, there can only be one. Only one can wear the ring. I was like, Highlander? No, kind of.
But
hey, there's more green in this than there was in the trailer, though. It's still kind of like dirt green, but sure.
It's like olive green or like puke green or like baby poop green. So like, you know, it's green.
You know,
something I guess.
Matcha green. I don't know.
This looks like a fucking like graphic design intern made this in 5 minutes. Like,
the one thing I will say though is
I can make a better poster than this, and I have like fucking. I don't even have Photoshop. Like, bruh.
I mean, it's very possible that he retires. I don't know if they're gonna kill him off, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they do kill him off. I mean, Kyle Chandler, great character actor, would not be surprised if he's only like a one and done. So, but yeah, it was nice. I mean, James Gunn randomly posted this, and so I guess I thought this was gonna be like, oh, and the next day we get a new trailer, but like nothing happened. So
yeah,
whatever.
Because why would we want to see another trailer? Ew, gross. But James Gunn reveals why the Authority has been scrapped, maybe revisited someday, not soon. Yeah, we got kind of figured that. But saying this, I've never had time to do this, and although I know this is a popular theory online, I never had an intention of writing or directing the Authority. The script wasn't quite there, but more importantly, it didn't work in terms of the larger DCU, both in terms of the story and practical concerns. Maybe someday, not soon. So, I mean, that makes sense, because considering he did say, oh, the themes that he did want to put in the Authority or wanted to talk about in the Authority were already used in Superman, and the Justice Gang already kind of took the place of the Authority, even though the Authority is way more extreme than they are. So
they're not an extreme development.
But you know, it's
extreme. We need a sound effect for that.
But yeah, I just think I think that makes sense. And then with the boys being like this overly like edgelord crap fest of like, oh, look at how fucking superheroes are, and it's just it's not. It's not.
You don't have the money for no-name characters, right? I mean, fair. It's practical concerns. They gotta get a Batman Wonder Woman thing out first before they get to extreme the Authority. It's like we don't need that. I'm glad that James Gunn clarified it. So yeah, I mean, the Authority apparently is dead and done. At least, when they say someday,
he becomes the Spectre. It would be cool if he becomes the Spectre in the show. So
we are extremely disappointed for the fans.
Yeah, all 5 of them. That's crazy.
It's great. I guess that means that the Authority is not in extreme development, or it's an extreme undevelopment, whatever. I was trying to extend the pun, but it's not really doing it. So yeah, I need to find that. There's got to be some there's got to be like some sound effect out there of extreme. It just is great. Thank you, James. We're gonna work with that for a long time. Extreme ironing, yeah. I mean, look, John, to be fair, they're not really doing these kind of like big team up movies. They haven't been doing them to kick things off. Superman wasn't really a team up film, but it had a lot of meta humans in it. And we're not going to get a Justice League movie, it seems like, for quite some time. So putting the Authority out there, like you said, there's just not a lot of room for, like, why that, what point is that team going to have, like, what point does it have to make? Because if it was going to be a counterbalance, or like you said, like an alternate version of, the Justice League, I think the Justice League needs to exist first, or although honestly, can I ask you this question? I don't think we've ever talked about it in this context. Would you rather have had the Authority instead of the Justice Gang in the Superman movie?
I think that would have been too much. I think the fact that it's like a 3-person like team of just like kind of lesser known heroes, I think that works better than just this mega ultra team of like super duper anti-heroes that these guys are. So yeah, I think that's better. I think it's better we didn't get that.
Yeah. Well, it's also I agree with you. I think it's a little too soon. Like the authority, didn't we talk about it? The Authority are so obscure. They're even more obscure than the Guardians of the Galaxy were when they got adapted, which to give you some sense of context. So trying to sell that as an idea. I mean, maybe Paramount will be like much more nonchalant, be like, James Gunn, you do whatever you want to do, we'll just support you. But under the David Zaslav regime, I think there was some course correction there. Like, what, you don't have a Wonder Woman movie coming out anytime soon? What about the Batman? Or like not the Batman, but what about the DCU Batman? I think they need to get those things out the door first before they can have more experiments, especially because, like you guys said, the Authority is going to cost a lot more money than a Clayface movie would to make. So you don't want to take such a big risk and then have a huge bomb on your hands, and all of a sudden, it dampens the enthusiasm around the rest of your projects. And so I think it's a little early for them to take such a big risk. But you know what? Speaking of risk, Supergirl is a bit of a risk at the box office. We'll see how well it does, John. But right now, this past weekend, Supergirl was at the CCXP Mexico. So let's get through some of the images and the updates from
but this is Millie Alcock at stunning at the CCXP Mexico over this past weekend. So that's pretty
stunning indeed.
Awesome. And then
great.
But she also posed with a bunch of cosplayers in Supergirl outfits, so that's pretty great too. You had a little bit of mostly of the new movie, but you have like a couple that's kind of looks Sasha Cali and a little bit of the TV show version. So a couple.
She's
of them
not
in
looking
there.
extreme. Anyway, sorry. Thank you, Ron, for those. I just can't get over that. That looks nice though. All those cosplayers. Any of them stick out to you? I mean, they largely are doing the same design though. This is not like other versions of
I mean, some of them have the trench coat, and that's one of them has crypto down there. I think they all look great.
Oh, I didn't even notice the crypto. Where are the eyes? Anyway, it's cute. Does that crypto not have eyes?
I think it just like it's pointing down, so it doesn't look.
Oh,
like
is that what it is?
eyes.
Okay, I mean it's a cute dog. It's a cute looking doggy. Yeah, I mean that's like a toy doggy, or is that a real doggy? I can't tell. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's nice to see, but not the only thing. Somebody revealed this really cool fan art poster, which is by Archer X Hood.
Oh my god,
Instagram.
this looks so good.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this looks amazing. I would like to get that printed off and have an art print of that, because that shit looks hot. Like, come on. That looks great. Hi, Filmology. I don't know, Ron. I'm not Ron. I mean, well, I don't know, John. I was gonna say, remember when Superman came out, there was this like one Superman fan poster that we kept saying was like better than most of the official posters.
Yeah.
I feel like this is that. This really captures the spirit of the character in the movie too. And you got the sword there, you got Crypto right alongside her. Yeah, it's my kind of poster. No floating heads, it's just art. They need to like take this and make this like one of those like Screen X or like Dolby or like IMAX posters. Probably not IMAX, but like IMAX likes to like really show scale. So but yeah, this would have been an amazing. I mean, as a first poster, maybe not, because you want to kind of put your character up front and center. It's kind of hard to tell like if that is like Millie Alcock or not, like if she's in silhouette. But I don't know, John, if you were to rank this out of 10, what rating would you give this poster?
10 out of 10. Perfect.
Okay, cool. Do you think this poster is extreme?
No, but it doesn't have to be. It's okay.
Cool. All right. Glad we're on the same page there. Okay. We're moving on from Supergirl. God, extreme development. I'm never gonna get over that. Whatever the fuck. Like, do you think James Gunn was high on something when he started talking, when he said it's extreme development?
I mean, the man barely gets sleep. He's probably has like sleep deprivation or some shit.
By the way, he did say that he's not writing season 2 of Creature Commandos. That he's not writing Booster Gold. Basically, he's not writing any of these upcoming things other than, you know, obviously Man of Tomorrow. So, yeah, extreme. Speaking of extreme, John, Clayface. We reacted to the trailer last week.
But speaking of Creature Commandos, apparently they are one and the same. Apparently, Matt Hagen in Creature Commandos that broke Rick Flag Sr.'s back. The true he was a hero. Ooh. We just didn't realize it. But yeah, so that's very interesting. I mean, I like how that works. I like that. I prefer that.
It's simple.
Much better.
It's simple. It simplifies.
Because the thing is, there's so many Clayfaces. It's like, oh yeah, it's one of the other 17 that we have. It's just like, oh my god, but no, it's just the same guy. Well, at least we know he doesn't die in the Clayface. So, I mean, why would they? But like, there was like the Matt Hagen dead. So like, you know, I remember seeing that. So just
so John, given that this is the same Clayface from Creature Commandos, that must mean. Go to the next thing. That must mean that Clayface is indeed set before Superman in the DCU timeline, which James Gunn did confirm, saying it is the first DCU film out of chronological order, which you mean like the second one? Like it's there's only been one other DCU film so far.
Third, because at this point Supergirl would be out. So
okay, fine. All right. Fair enough. But like still, like I don't know, it's like still only 3. It's like okay.
And well, I mean if we count Peacemaker season 2, that wasn't out of order, and then Lantern, but he says film, but I think he means like all projects are consecutive until Clayface, which takes place before.
Yeah, kind of.
What are y'all fucking barking about in the chat?
I don't know. There's like, some things going on in the chat between the
if you keep going on, we're gonna start banning people. All right, so fucking get your fucking twisted panties out of your mouth and stop acting like a fucking little bitch. All right, goddamn.
Clayface, the first Clayvenger. Oh, wow, that actually doesn't sound right. Well, second year of Superman, yes, because by the time we get to Superman, the events of the movie last year, it was 3 years into his time being Superman. So yes, you're right, Watcher. But yeah, so James Gunn was talking about Clayface as a whole because somebody asked him, you know, like, look, this looks like a horror film, Clayface does, and we know that DCU is going to include movies from different genres than, you know, just your standard action, variety, superhero cinema. So they were just wondering, like, does this mean, you know, this is the norm? And John, what did James Gunn have to say? Because I think this is kind of significant in terms of like what we should expect moving forward with the DCU.
Yeah, I mean, this has pretty much been known from the beginning, and we were talking about this, like having different films with different tones is going to get like DC out of the slump that it is before. Unfortunately, it has had a lot of bad press, but you know, like with all, you know, Superman was like a character driven Earth sci-fi action film. Then you had Peacemaker, which was a multiversal character drama. Then you have Supergirl, which is a cosmic sci-fi epic. Then you have Lanterns, which is a grungy, gritty superhero, like detective, like crime thriller kind of thing. And then you have Clayface, which is a horror film, which is a psychological body horror film. And yeah, and that's what makes it, because the thing is, Resurrection Man is going to feel different from the Terrifics, and that's good because then you have all these things that pertain to different people, and that's how you're going to bring everyone together under the net of superhero. But this is how you one up superhero fatigue, is not have things of the same genre cranked out by assembly line. We've been saying this since the beginning, and it's definitely a good idea. So, you know, yeah, it's just like whatever suits the service, and that's what I've been saying. That's what James Gunn has been saying, and the fact that he has to say it again shows that people are not paying attention. But, you know, whether they're good or bad, it kind of depends on the person and the overall outlook, but at least the attempt at diversity in genres will stop superhero fatigue dead in its tracks.
Right. Yeah, I mean, did you read? Sorry, can you read like what James Gunn said? Because I think like the projects he mentions might be significant in terms of like maybe
Yeah,
what
he said, yes,
what
from the
he's
start, we've been clear the DCU would be interconnected, but each project would be full expressions of their writers and directors, similar to how DC Comics work. Saga of the Swamp Thing, Justice League International, Killing Joke, and All-Star Squadron are not one tone in either Superman, Lanterns, Peacemaker, or Clayface. The film or show will play in whatever genre suits the story best. Clayface is not a hybrid superhero horror film. It's a horror film.
so. I mean, that's great. We talked about it last week when the trailer came out. We were like, this doesn't feel like it's a superhero film that's also a horror film. It looks like a horror film. And I think that's really well put together so far, the marketing for it. I do wonder, though, like, he's talking about DC Comics and he specifically names Saga of the Swamp Thing. I mean, not like specific runs, but he mentions Justice League International, Killing Joke, All-Star Squadron. Do you think any of those things are maybe projects or potential stories or sets of
I
characters
mean,
that
we
he wants to
know that
realize?
like he was inspired by Justice League International for the Justice Gang. Swamp Thing is still technically in development if fucking James Mangold ever wants to fucking come back and do his shit. Killing
Brian
Joke
Helgeland.
is like pretty much
Yeah.
like the basis for literally every fucking like Batman story we've gotten on screen. And All-Star Squadron does have some like vibes to like certain projects here and there, but yeah, for the most part, it's it's I don't think this means anything, but there are a couple of these that we know we've gotten in the past of like or going to get. Swamp Thing was announced. Justice League International was the basis for Justice Gang, and so yeah, it makes sense that he references these things. So
Sorry, Cat is taking over here. No, but yes, I mean, I know Watcher was suggesting he wants to do a Justice. Well, I'm sure James Gunn wants to do a Justice League International eventually. It's gonna be a while though. Yeah, cool. Great. So James Gunn again. Putting his money where his mouth is with this, like the diversity of genres we were expecting to get. No. You don't step up on here. Come on. Sorry, my cat is doing that thing where she steps on the keyboard. John, I did want to mention this before we finish up. There was a fan poster. Somebody, speaking of great fan artwork, somebody put together a clay. Now that we know this Clayface is the same Clayface from Creature Commandos, can you go to this fan? Somebody decided to like take that Creature Commandos version of Clayface and just kind of mesh it together.
And also kind of the vibe of the animated series as well. So
and it's got like that 3D texture. This looks even more gross and like like I can touch it, I can feel that.
Because it's like sweaty
melting.
and it's moist and wet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know what, John? You know what I think this is? I think this is extreme.
It is very extreme. Unfortunately, the people who posted this didn't give. It was posted by DC Updates, so I don't know if they were the ones who did this poster or if it was somebody else. It kind of reminds me of Boss Logic's style, so maybe it was him, but they didn't give credit, so maybe it was done by them. I don't know, but
it's really well done. Yeah. And Angelica, to your question, do you think Wonder Woman and Paradise Lost will be released together? Likely not together, but probably not that far apart either. Because obviously we know now that Paradise Lost is in extreme development, and Wonder Woman has probably, by that measure, also for a while been in extreme development. These are James Gunn's words. So yeah, we're probably going to be getting them not necessarily like one after the other, but probably within a year of each other, I would say. So yeah.
But
wet. That's how it's
wet.
Yeah.
God, I fucking love that sketch so much.
I know you do. That's why it's in the DCU Daily intro. Well, not it's one of the other ones from that series. But John, let's talk about some more James Gunn stuff, because he was on with Brandon Davis, right? That's what it is.
Yeah.
His podcast. So extreme.
Yeah, this was from a while ago when like set photos are being leaked, and he's like, "We're not gonna fucking stop production over some set photos. We know that people are gonna,
because
like do this and talk about it. It's not that big of a deal."
I mean, we went through the Gotham City map, and we were like, literally, like, we went through the legend, and we were like, oh my god, they got this, and these things, and this.
Yeah,
this
I think like
particular,
Ace
you know,
Chemicals was in there.
Yeah. But basically, what he was saying in this interview was, look, they suggested maybe we could do some stuff in post, like, you know, some of the makeup instead of doing it practically, and so that way we don't give away this stuff, you know, publicly to people who are obviously, you know, and it's not a closed set completely. But he was like, why? Like, the practical stuff in this movie is some of the best stuff, so let's do it practically. Like, who cares if some people get these photos? I mean, with a show like Daredevil, you'd be thinking, oh my god, cat butt. With a show like Daredevil, you'd be thinking that, you know, like, they maybe don't have the budget to like do that with, even if they wanted to. But I mean, but this movie is not like the most expensive movie ever either. So my cat's literally falling on my back because she can't hold on to the chair. Okay. But the point I was trying to make is, I think at the end of the day, James Gunn's got the right mindset. It's like, yeah, sure, it's gonna be a big, you know, news item for people like us talking about it when the photos leak, but ultimately, does it really tell you what you know, the story of the movie? I don't think it does. I don't know. How do you feel about that, John? Do you?
No, I agree with
James Gunn's
everything what
approach?
he's saying. I 100% agree.
Yeah.
It's like, I really do think like oh god, I see a hobo on the street. I'm not gonna see this movie. Now it's like, oh, come on, like, really, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, Georgie's here to say hello to everybody. Her name is Georgie. She's about to turn a year old in about a month's time. It's her birthday, so she'll be on. You'll see her more on the show. Yeah. By the way, it's really kind of underrated that they're going about it this way, because not only are they trying to be financially, they're gonna destroy my iPad. Financially, you know, fiscally responsible, but yeah. I also like the fact that James Gunn is, you know, kind of practical about these things. He's like, so what if they get some photos? I mean, it makes sense. This is the same guy who shot Superman in the middle of, you know, Cleveland and then Cincinnati as well, like all these big sequences, and he was perfectly okay with us, you know, doing a deep dive. If anything, it's free marketing, so it all works. But yeah, the cranky kitty has finally sat down. She's resting for once. Oh no! Just as I say that, she gets up and she walks over, and she's probably gonna jump down, and she's gonna hop back up. So, but yeah, Georgie is a big part of the show these days. But hey, John is gonna be back in a moment. I just wanted to kind of like talk about more James Gunn talking about Clayface. So he was explaining how Clayface kind of fits into the larger, you know, DCU, and what he had to say. And you guys might have seen this, but I think it's kind of worth mentioning. Oh, hello, Georgie. Yep. Now she's sitting next to the. Okay, hi. So James Gunn, again on Threads, he wrote, since the release of the Clayface trailer, people have asked me, how is that going to work? One universe, different feels and genres. And Gunn was like, my answer is just like in the comics, where different creative voices and visions inspire each project. Each story has purpose within itself, outside of all others. But another part of the fun can be when seemingly disparate strands come together in an elegant way. Which I'll go back to the example of the first Avengers movie. You know, like in the early parts of that Avengers film with Joss Whedon directing, you get to, you know, meet the Shakespearean version of Thor with, you know, Tony Stark's Iron Man, and then, you know, you got Captain America, who just got woken up from the ice, Steve Rogers, and it's just, you get to see those flavors mix, and you know, it always, you know,
tastes better when the flavors mix.
Better. So yeah, George, now she's popped herself like on the laptop. No, we're not doing that. Yeah, she wants all the attention. Can't you guys tell? Georgie wants all the attention. Georgie is so extreme, right, Georgie? Yeah. Anyway, John, what did you think about what James Gunn said here about how Clayface being very different looking, sounding than anything we've seen, even with Peacemaker being rated R? This feels very different than the kind of rated R Peacemaker was, and obviously it's very different from Superman, and certainly looking very different from like Supergirl. Like, how do you? He's kind of following up on what he promised in the beginning, that, you know, we're gonna have all these different
all these different
tones.
ideas and
Yeah.
themes and
Mhm.
visions and genres. It's like that's how you conquer superhero fatigue. And I just love how like people are like before they're like, man, I really hate how Marvel's cranked out by assembly line. This sucks. And then James Gunn's like, okay, cool. We're gonna focus on comic stuff and we're gonna do different genres for every things. And then everyone's like, wait, no, not like that. And it's just like, well, what the fuck do you people want? To be miserable. That's the answer to that question. They just want to be miserable. Because because the thing is, I have a very like wide spectrum of friends on Facebook where I'm not like friendly with them, but I'm like, they're friends, quote unquote. They're Facebook friends. So I just see like them
Facebook
constantly just so like
They're so
just like
extreme.
miserable and hate everything. And I'm like, it's just like you must be fucking exhausted being this miserable all the time. And it's just like, I understand if you hate something, that's fine. But it's just like every project in every movie and every video game, every TV show, it's just like, I hate this. I hate it's just like, oh my god, you're like the edgelord high schooler that never grew up. That's because you know why? I was the edgelord high schooler who all acted like I fucking hated everything. And you know what? It was fucking exhausting. And you know what? Eventually in college, when you find yourself and you're like, wow, look at all these broadening concepts and cultures and interesting things. It's just like, wow, I can like things and have a personality? That's crazy. And then you do that and you're all the better for it. And it's just like, if you want to watch fucking direct to video Drek from 2002, that's your prerogative. You can do that. Just like stop being like posting about every fucking nonsensical, annoying thing. And it's just like, my God, you're so fucking tiring. Like, I understand there are some things I'm not excited for, but the thing is, like, for instance, I'm like mid for Supergirl, not very excited for Legends, but I'm still excited for Clayface. It's a broad sense of like 3 very different projects. Like, I'm excited for this, that, and the other thing for Supergirl. I'm not very excited for Lanterns, but I'm still like, for Supergirl, I like the cosmic concepts. I like, Lobo. I like the relationship with like Crypto, and it's kind of like a John Wick angle. It's got some neo-Western angles. Like, I like that, but I don't like the fact how it's based on a Tom King story. I have yet to read it, I know, but I'll get to it eventually. Or or like this and the other thing, and that Lanterns, I don't like how it's focused purely on the HBO crowd. I get like the diversity angle, but it's just like it's weird how you're making it Lanterns. Why not do like a question show or a Martian Manhunter show? You could do grounded Earth aspects, and like then have cosmic aspects mixed in with that. But Lanterns is too cosmic to be, fucking gritty HBO stuff. So it just doesn't work for me personally. However, I am excited for Kyle Chandler. I am excited for Aaron Pierre. I really like Garrett Dillahunt as an actor. So I like all these people, and I like the murder mystery angle of it all.
That's my favorite part.
And then Clayface, I'm a horror guy. Like, I love body horror. I like Tom Rhys Harries. I've seen a little bit of his acting, was in Doctor Who. So, and I think he did a very good job in that episode. Like, kind of like the one guy who was like fed up with all the bullshit and tried to like push people against it, but he was stuck in a bad system. So I thought that was an interesting angle. And, I also like Eddie Marsan as well. James Watkins hit and miss for me, but I loved Woman in Black, and that was the last horror movie that he did not write. So that definitely is exciting. I also like Mike Flanagan. So I like different aspects of these projects, but it's just like I try to find the good in them, even though I don't like Tom King and I don't like aspects of like angles they're going for, but I try to find the best. Like, I'm just like, dude, I cannot fucking tell you how excited I am to see Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan and Aaron Pierre as Jon Stewart, even if they don't feel like the characters and don't really mesh with my idea. Like, maybe we only see a little bit, maybe it's all from the first episode and doesn't feel like it, but then eventually we'll get those more comic accurate vibes and character decisions and we'll get what we want. But it's just like it's so fucking tiring, bro. It's just like I see these guys constantly. They're just like, oh, I hate this, I hate that. It's just like, my God.
Well,
I'm not saying
I
you
don't
have to like
pay too much
everything. You
attention
not
to
have
that
to be
myself.
like
Yeah.
the people that red letter media make fun of, consume ask no questions and consume product type people. I was not happy about Lanterns. I was not happy
Yeah.
when it was like, oh, it's pretty much that Sadie Sink is gonna be Jean Grey. But that's not me all the time. At least I hope not. Like, I can be angry and have my little classic angry John rants, which
Jurassic
I
League
know the
John.
people like. But like, I'm not like that all the time. People Figure Drawing was making fun of me in the chat because I'm glazing Marvel now. It's just like I'm happy. Like, I'm for the most part I'm happy about Brand New Day. I'm hopefully I can get around to watching Wonder Man and Born Again, and I'm gonna be watching Spider Noir. I'm gonna be watching Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Not gonna be watching Avengers Doomsday purely out of spite
Hey,
now.
Patrick.
But it's just like, it's just like, I don't know what movie it is, but there was a famous like clip from a movie with Elizabeth Olsen. He's like, hating everything doesn't give you a personality, or whatever the line was. And it's just like, that's exactly what it is. Hating everything doesn't give you a personality. It just, you're an asshole and nobody wants to be around you. Like, that's essentially what it is. However, it is also disastrous of, having liking everything. That's not healthy either, because then you have no standards for yourself. You're like, oh, I like this, I like that, I like everything. I love every single aspect of every single thing. It's just like, that's also tiring because it can get annoying after a while, and you should have standards for yourself. Like, it's like, oh, I'm going to watch The Fanatic, and oh, it's the greatest film ever. It's just like, no, that's not.
We got to do a watch along. We got to do MCU post Endgame watch alongs. That would be hilarious.
But, that's just how it is for me. A little bit of a tangent, but like, it's just like, it's just one of those things where it's just tiring. I'm just like, okay, just fucking get a personality, bro. Like, go to a knitting class or something. Go do wood shop or something. Like, just stop fucking sitting by your computer being like, oh, just fucking rage baiting and hating on everything. It's just like, calm down, bro.
That was,
go,
John,
go
that was
outside,
definitely...
touch grass, get some pussy. Like, stop being a fucking wreck.
Take you up on the last one. Yeah, I mean, that sidebar was definitely, you could say,
Let's get
extreme. Anyway, I was just gonna say, I mean, to that whole all the talk about Clayface being so different from Superman. They mentioned in this article, not that James Gunn said it, but they mentioned this in this article, how in the comics we have seen Batman come across Elmer Fudd from like the Looney Tunes, and Superman has had crossovers with Sergeant Rock, which we have seen some pretty wild crossovers in the comics. So to see that, not that these are crossovers, but I'm sure we'll eventually get, hopefully a Clayface and live action crossing over with Batman. And James is gonna show us that you can have those two things exist in the same, continuity, in the same universe. And that's going to be ultimately like what makes the DCU so colorful and engaging. I think that's where the DCEU also did a really, really good job, because you look at the Aquaman movie and then you watch like BVS, and I'm like, ooh, there's a big jump in tone. And the worlds of DC sort of, which was like the in-house name of the DCEU, they kind of lend themselves to this kind of diversity, because you think about it, like Aquaman, totally different domain than Wonder Woman, than Batman, than Superman, than the Green Lanterns, than the Flash. It's like these characters, they don't all come from New York City. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what Marvel has. Marvel has some iconic characters and they do a great job. And it's not like they're all from New York City, but the diversity of those worlds that each of these characters, these big name characters that DC has, not to mention some of the other ones as well, I think it's one of DC's strengths in the comics, and I like that even in the DCEU they leaned into that, and now in the DCU they're obviously going in that direction, but it feels more organic because they're building it out from the ground up and doing it with intention. So yeah, I can't wait to see where it all ties together. Shaggy smoking weed and Creature Commandos. Hello, right? Yes. So, but yeah, John, that's about it. Clayface. I think that wraps up the show for tonight. We ran close to 3 hours there. But you guys let us know. Did we miss anything? Anything else you guys want to talk about? Get in the comments down below. Hit that like button while you're here. We do appreciate that. Really does help us out. And then if you get a chance, come back and drop us a comment later. If you have any questions, we do Q&A sessions on Friday. I've got a couple of comments and questions from last week we're sitting on. So yeah, which is interesting because Aquaman and Wonder Woman are the most alike. Yes, they are alike, but I'm saying visually the worlds that they come from are so different. So, yeah, Superman did come. Oh, yes. Thank you, Chimera. Thank you, Watcher. Thank you, Enterprising Eric, Angelica, Patrick, M2G. Did I miss it? I'm sure I missed it. Steven was here early. I saw Caleb dropped a comment. He wasn't watching live. We got Johnny. Thank you, Johnny. And then we got Jalen, of course. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Enterprising, of course. Filmologia. Stacy was here. Fiona was here early. Ron, of course, watching from the beginning. Movie Spud. And, you know, if I missed your name, please do let me just get in the comments. But yeah, to everybody who's watching and enjoying the show, it's been a long one, but, you know, a lot to catch up on, a lot to talk about. So I did say Ron. Ron was first. Ron, you were first in the chat, and you kept on popping in and out as well throughout the show. So yeah, let Gunn cook. Let him cook. All right, we'll see you guys later. Hit the like button on the way out. We do appreciate that. So thank you for watching as always. If you haven't subscribed like M2G hadn't once upon a time, please do subscribe because we're here 5 days a week. We're getting back to that schedule. So we'll see you guys here again tomorrow with DCU Daily. We got Tier List Tuesday. It looks like we were ranking Michael Keaton movies. And then
I'm not going to be
Wednesday,
ranking
Thursday,
all of
Friday.
them because there's way too many. We haven't seen that many, but we're going to be trying to ranking as much as we can.
We do like 10 to 15. We'll do like one of those top 10, top 15. But yes, remember to fight for extreme justice, and we'll see you tomorrow on another episode of DCU Daily.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you wanna shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
Fuck Jeff Snyder, fuck Tom King, and fuck Crybaby Ellison.